Rusty Boy. I'm talking about stuff. Oh, there goes my soundboard. Ah, yes. Yes, we're here to talk about pirates, and it feels so good every week. Hello, everyone. Oh, yes. Welcome, one and all. Once a time, it's time to awaken your Yaru no Mi. Ah! Just like that. And that's how it goes. Oh, yes. Hello. How are you all this fine evening? I have had a very fine evening. Busy evening, but all is well. No sound problems. Impossible. No, massive sound problems. Okay, let me see. My audio, I think, is good. I think the sound effects are coming through. Yeah, might be a little quiet, but that's okay. That's all right. How are you all? I am well. Hello. Every week. Close enough to every week. And everyone, I am happy to announce, I should have put this in the little bio thing or whatever, that we're talking about at the chapter 1083 of the little indie manga known as One Piece this week, yes. But we have a special guest with us, yes. We are graced with the great One Piece knowledge of, you know him, you'll love him, SABO'S, a.k.a. Caribou-kun. Hey, Shaves, say hello.
Shaves.
Yeah,
hey, Shaves.
He
How's
said
it
the
going?
thing. Woo, yes, I love it.
How's it going?
I was going to beg you to say the thing. Hey,
well, yeah, I got it. Yeah.
It's what the people come for. It's what they come for.
Right.
Do you guys know Shaves? Shaves is streams as well on here, but makes very impressive anime videos once in a while as well.
Thank you, and thank you so much for having me, Nate.
It's a delight.
Exciting.
We've I think you were on one of the seasonal anime wrap ups. We did one of these like a while ago, but that was like years ago now. So it's been forever. But and also, as a matter of fact, you and my buddy Jack is boy have a show you guys do, Pissed Pirates, right? As well.
Yes, we're not mad at One Piece. We're pissed at you.
And me
fans.
Specifically? Oh, at the fans.
This boy, fucking salty ass.
Well, I feel like I'd fit right in there because I am pissed at One Piece, and I could bring the level of actual man-child vitriol against One Piece's.
Like at One Piece, though.
Yeah, exactly. Soko is saying here, Shapes, talk about how the anime is objectively better than the manga. Care to comment?
For it.
Yeah.
Ooh, like dead ass. So, like I saw one person like, ew, anime OST. I'm like, fuck off.
Well, first of all, when it comes to the realm of music, I hate to say that the manga doesn't have much music to compete with against the anime.
Or, voice acting or color or...
Now, I'm a manga guy for sure. I feel that the anime, I mean, especially like One Piece, because it's so many episodes, Toei Animation,
When did you stop watching it regularly?
That would have been, right when I caught up to where the anime was, and that's when I dropped off the cliff and became a manga boy forever, which was right at the end of Enies Lobby and the beginning of Water 7. Yeah.
So you're not much of you've literally seen less than half of the anime.
That's probably true, yeah. But I saw the part I had to see.
Over 1,000 episodes, and Enies Lobby ends at like 300.
Yeah, I think that's right. But I saw Bink Sake, and that's all I needed to see.
That's cool.
And then it was, you don't need to watch any more after that.
I disagree. Okay.
Well, that's fine. What do you say to this? As an anime dick rider, as you are for One Piece, what do you say to the fact that one of the things I like best about the manga is how, with a manga, of course, by virtue of the medium, you can have like one beautifully drawn pose on a page or like a cool double spread or something. Whereas with the anime, you're going to get, like a little... Anime always will soften the edges of that and have to convert it into an animatable form. So it can't it can't really stick as many wonderful poses as like the manga can. That's one of the things I like best about the manga versus the anime.
Sure,
Any thoughts on that?
You can probably agree that manga is not an infallible. Sorry to be double negative, but it's not an infallible art form.
No doubt.
Where it's like, he could have done that better, and maybe he'll approve it in the volume release. Or not.
Well,
or can't really do anything about the panels.
Here in the in the Talking Pirates family is what we are really. It's about family at the end of the day, and
it should be.
we understand that what Oda, or should I say Hackta these days, does is he likes to leave it to the anime Jannies to clean it up when he makes a big stinky on the page. When he just doesn't have time to draw correctly or draw well, he'll just leave it to the anime guys to like make it good in a couple of years.
Guy.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's we appreciate that. We respect that.
That's for me too, right? My favorite anime of all time had like 7 years of hindsight of like the manga being complete and seeing the whole picture and loving the material. And even there's a really funny story.
Yeah, Naruto is pretty good. I agree.
I'm talking about Ashina Joe in particular.
Oh, all right.
But like, there's an interview that the author did with the anime director, and they talk about how like the manga was a author-artist duo, and they were actually having a rivalry with each other as they were making it. Where,
cool.
You would send the writer would have the manuscript, and then the artist, which is the guy who was talking, who was the only one still alive, he's talking about how like I would draw it in a way to try to one up his script, and then he talks about how the anime comes out, and he's like, "Fuck, they did it better than me. Fuck."
I mean, these things do happen. They do happen.
Yeah.
You know, it's not that it's impossible. I mean, I often find myself in the position of being like, oh, I've noticed that like the anime, you know, messed up something. Oh, not even about One Piece specifically, but
in general.
I'm a big, you know, like the guy who draws it with a certain intent. It really grinds my gears when something gets like willingly or just carelessly lost in translation and they don't get the subtleties right. And, you know, that really annoys me. But of course, I would absolutely agree that an adaptation can be an uplifting, enlightening, expanding, broadening concept. I mean, case in point, I mean, this is the most obvious example in the world, but Binks Sake was written in the manga as like you know, it sort of lacks the ability to communicate exactly what a song would have, and so with anime, obviously you can flesh that out, and it's one of the most legendary like anime musical bits of all time, in my opinion.
That's awesome. No, yeah, and I'd say that I think it's like any piece of art; it's a case by case basis. There's some manga that get very, very lucky with a superior adaptation, or at least a decent one. And there's others that maybe not so much. And I think with something as vast as One Piece, there's a lot of nuance that gets lost because it's so large. You know, I think the anime does go through long periods where it's going through multiple staff and everything. And I think that's one advantage with Oda. It's that, like, you know, he does have different editors, and I never really looked into that. I'm not that deep into it yet, because I don't know if your audience knows this, but I only started watching One Piece January of last year.
Merely a babe.
Yeah. And I watched most of it in 1 year. I got caught up to I was up to Wano by the time the year ended, and I'm still in Wano actually, even though I'm caught up on the manga, and it's probably raging in the comments now. But it's a whole explanation deal. I can explain. It's Twitter. It's just Twitter. I don't want to get spoiled by fucking Twitter.
Yeah. I mean, well, I guess it's a complicated decision, a complicated tree of decision making as to what information you want available to you. Are you willing to commit to a lifestyle of avoiding spoilers actively for like an extended period of time? Because the anime will always be behind the manga, obviously. And what happens on the day the last chapter drops? Are you prepared to spend the next several years avoiding it?
Probably.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a very logical, you know, position to take ultimately. Was there something else I was going to comment about that? No, I guess not. I should have put a picture of you up on screen, but in any case, you guys should all go and subscribe to Shabes' various different productions he did. I think the last video of yours. Now, to be fair, I haven't watched a lot of like anime YouTubers in recent years.
Oh, I know.
However,
we're all islands.
We're all. That's true. That's true.
That's part of the reason I do digest is I on my second channel. I
have
a series where I talk about other people's anime YouTube videos, and that's part of a way for me to stay engaged with the community as well, because it's hard for me to watch other people's anime YouTube videos, even when they're like buddies with mine.
And you know that Shabes has excellent taste, because recently you said very kind things about my Shin Ultraman video, and it was in fact your highlight of the week, as I recall.
Oh, it was based, dude. I love that one. I was grinning ear to ear.
I'm glad you liked it.
Absolutely.
That project it surprised even me with the level of like interesting factoids I was able to derive. Ultraman has the world record for most spin-offs of any series in the world. I had no idea that was the case going in.
Yeah. Just your attitude in that video is just so exciting and like infectious, I think.
I was trying to be.
Yeah, I mean, it's simply, I don't know. It's sort of the kind of attitude that you've had in general. I would imagine with your career, but I don't know. There was something about this one where it felt slightly more unhinged, or just like, I don't know, more. Cursed.
You know, I made that. You know, shout out to Demo D. I made that with a Demo D style. What's the word?
Yeah, no,
carefree vibe. I mean, I referenced the guy directly in there a couple of times.
Yeah. You know, there's so many anime YouTubers now that like do that, and they have no idea that it's a demo thing.
I know, right? They don't know the history.
So, therefore, they do it poorly. It sucks.
That's true. You got to know your history if you're gonna do it correctly, guys. Not that there was a time when I more actively tried to like mimic demo. Like my early end cards that I did with like the music outros was all massively influenced by the way Demo did it. And of course, looking back on it now, all his videos are claimed basically because he used like pop songs at the end of all his videos. Dude, I too am getting that too.
My are claimed.
Yeah, because you do AMVs. AMVs are the biggest. I will get nothing out of this. You know, fucking project that you could possibly make. And of course, there's a bunch of AMV type things I want to make too, and I will also get demonetized in all of those, and I'm going to do them anyway, because fuck it.
Yeah.
It's just fun anyway.
Yeah. Although, my very latest video, I used Right on Time pretty prominently in the entire... I literally wrote the script like to timing it to that song. No claim.
Maybe did you cover it up more than you would need to, and so it was just like percentage wise there wasn't enough long sections of it by itself or something? Because I've also done that.
You know what? I think in that instance with somehow they didn't detect Right on Time. I don't think.
Yeah.
Because I used this guy's upload of like a cassette tape. And it was like a particular quality that was like really good, but then somehow YouTube didn't notice it. But it was it got taken down eventually because like they do perennial like
manual claim maybe.
Let's search Right on Time and take down all the videos.
Yeah, yeah. I've gotten many of those too. They don't get claimed initially.
Like several of my videos now got like blocked in Russia.
Yeah, yeah.
Supporting Ukraine, I guess. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. I those things just seem to happen every once in a while. What was it? When I was doing Talking Pirates initially, I very foolishly, you will find this condemnable. I really almost lost my entire YouTube catalog and presence because I had made a new channel linked to the Best Guy Ever accounts that was my Talking Pirates uploads, where I would just show the entire chapter of the TCB things on the video. Looking back on it, not my smartest move. Okay, it was not the wisest move. Yeah, and it did indeed almost nuke the channel. I was very close there. But now my policy. Now I know better. First of all, everything is separate now. Nothing's gonna get taken down if Talking Pirates goes down. But it's all censored on YouTube now. Nice, okay. In any case, people. I know what the people are here for. They want the vote. The thing is, Shabes, the people here are gambling addicts. They hunger. They need to feed on those sweet buckaroo bits that only this stream can provide. So we have a moral obligation to now turn our attention to this chapter of Hacta's latest, crapped out onto the pages for us, and we'll have to review it fairly and even-handedly.
You wanted answers? You wanted answers this chapter?
All right, let's go to the chapter. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Woo! Okay, it is, in fact, chapter 1083, and yes, before we begin, let's start the bet. I just closed my tab. Hang on. And again, one of the fun things to do is review the biggest winners and losers from the last stream, so we can laugh at them, at their great fortune or failure. Okay, so prediction. Okay, so last time, Goda did indeed pull it out last chapter. Okay, 58% went towards Goda, 42% went to Hacta. Our winner was...
You've crafted a lot of gambling addicts, because this is close.
I know, right? But that's what makes it fun. That's what keeps them coming back for more. I'm being on that dopamine...
That isn't real.
But even though it's not real, we crave it. We crave that sweet mineral, I don't know why, but that's how it works. Okay, 60K was won. Matalio Play Duran. Okay, nicely done. Nicely won. And 40K lost by Chernobite. Rest in peace. I'm sorry for your family. No feeding this week. Okay.
My bit. Whatever it is.
All right. So, is it Goda or is it Hacta? You know the thing. You know the one. 30 minutes. You have to vote. Let's begin now. All right, there it is. Let's get to the chapter. Do you have it pulled up as well, Shabes? I think I forgot to.
I do.
Oh, okay. So we'll just go through.
I have your stream on as well, so I see what you're seeing.
Oh, okay, excellent. This guy's a pro. I think this guy knows what he's doing, guys.
I try.
Okay, so chapter 1083, small indie manga known as One Piece, The Truth About That Day. We have a lovely image of Doflamingo, fresh out of Scuff Piece, feeding Little Big Bird, oh no, not feeding, treating the wounds. Yes, treating the wounds. It fell out of its nest. He made a nest out of his coat. That's cute. Now, Shabes, well, actually, have you read the whole manga, or did you
No,
jump in?
I've not.
You okay.
So my relationship with the manga currently, I started reading it weekly around 10:58, like the start of Egghead.
Okay.
Arc, and I've been buying the manga volume by volume.
Starting from the beginning?
From the beginning.
Oh, cool.
I got the first volume on like a vacation, and I'm like, this is Kino. I'm gonna keep doing this. I'm gonna keep doing this just volume by volume, and not like maybe I've done like 2 or 3 volumes at like buying them together a little bit. Sometimes.
Yeah.
But the last thing I want to do is buy one of those giant boxes of manga, right? That include like 1 through 50 or whatever, because I will never read it.
Yeah. No, you're doing it the right way, and. Also, they sell those like 3-in-1 volume things that are whatever. I hate those. I think they're terrible. You don't get the cover. You don't get the inside. Maybe you get the art inside. I don't know. But they're ugly. I hate them. I don't want them.
And you don't get what Oda intended. That's not what he intended when he was like, end of volume. Like, end of volume this.
Yep. When Oda was writing chapter 1 of One Piece, he thought to himself, people need to see the cover of volume 104. It's extremely important that they say that. I've got it all planned out. Every detail of the series I planned since writing panel 1, line number 1, sketch number 1.
According to Keikaku.
Exactly. Okay. Pretty decent cover page, except that Doflamingo. Well, let's just say the Scuff Piece has just begun. Oh, I remember why I brought that up, Shaves. It was because I was going to ask you what your thoughts are on basically the art quality. Because, me and my fellow intellectual titans here in the stream here, we feel that we've detected a certain decline in the precision and the... I mean, some people actually, they seem to like the rougher art style and stuff, but if you flip back to, you crack open, say, Alabasta or Skypiea or Water 7 or any of that, and you compare it to some of the chapters that we've seen recently, the art fidelity, like the line work... is noticeably worse, I would say.
Well, you could even go to East Blue. The volumes.
Yeah, no doubt.
There's a cleanness to them for sure, and I think that also does with his designs. I think his designs, they were
simpler back in the day.
It feels like he has also kind of taken a little influence from the anime as existing.
I agree. I certainly agree.
Like a thing, because he's like, okay, I can kind of make it more like the anime a little bit, because for whatever. Toei wasn't able to,
and I bet you love that, don't you? You sick fuck.
Oh, I love it. I love Toei's designs, man. Don't get me fucking wrong. Man. But I don't know. I think there could be something that I actually do like, kind of like the sketchily.
Oh, here we go with the Scuff Piece apology tour. Oh, it's actually good that it looks bad.
My opinion, and I was like, I kind of.
Well, I was hoping you'd have a good opinion, Shabes. Is the thing there? That's the important distinction. And you know what?
I will not entertain your opinion.
Yes, I appreciate that. And by the way, I forgot we had some subs here. Let me just read their names here kindly. They're loading. Just a moment. Okay, here we go. We got K5 Josh. 47 months, One Piece.
Thank you, Baxter.
Thank you, Baxter. Can we get some TYBs in the chat, please? Spearmaster EX, Revolutionary Chapter, Instant Hackta.
Thank you, Baxter.
So true. And Swag Drill Break. And that was 5 months for Spearmaster. And Swag Drill Break for 2 months. Impressive. Sneaky TV Twitch. This was an automatic sub renewal, Le Cry. But I noticed you typed your message nonetheless.
Thank you, Baxter.
Suspicious.
Easy
okay,
money!
Nonetheless, it was easy money. Thank you all. We appreciate that. Okay, and we move on.
I'm going to be kissing the mic from now on.
Please do.
Quiet, apparently.
Oh, are you local? I can turn it up. The problem is if I turn you up, all the sound effects also increase in volume.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean. I'll be courteous and actually talk into the microphone. Just because my setup is in such a way that my mic's like on my left.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I turned it up a little bit anyway. So if you do that and I turned it up, we should be good. We should be all right.
Yeah. I'll be in it. I'll be in this.
Now, as always, we must again thank our humble scanlators. Thank you, TCB. Everyone clap. Appreciate that very much. Raimu, Teal, no sir. Red Hood, no sir. Raimu, Teal. Now, before, I didn't care about these Gauls, and they could all die, and it would mean nothing to me. But now I actually met several of them, and I do care if they die a little bit. As long as they keep bringing me One Piece,
they can also live. TCB, as stand-up as you can be with scanlations, but
more or less, yeah.
Yeah, but there's this whole thing with 83 in particular, with it was out for a while. Like, people kind of knew about it, or like at least summary or whatever. You know how it is.
Oh yeah. This week the leaks came early, as I recall.
Like a Golden Week kind of wonky.
Yeah, I guess because Golden Week happened and that got leaked like a week early, as sometimes happened with the Golden Week release, and maybe the next one also sneaks out early in some way because it's catching up still. I don't know, something like that.
Some dummy.
I don't know about you. I typically try to avoid the spoilers because, like, if it's a matter of a day or two, I'm happy to wait to get the chapter. Yeah,
but also, like, dude.
And Fizo's in the chat right now.
After I read this chapter,
I
just was curious, and I clicked on the Twitter trending thing because it's always there.
Yeah.
And one of the accounts that comes up is this guy that, like, I guess was just making their own fan fiction.
Okay, that happens a lot.
It's just fucking like 1083, but it's not. It's just like it's their version of it is like it ends up being more about Cross Guild, and like they give a Mihawk flashback.
Let me even see.
It's Garbo.
If I go to the spoiler chat on the TCB or the Talking Pirates Discord, I mean, I can't find it right now, but like if you just scroll up a little bit, there's like the first waves of like utterly unhinged spoilers that they're like. I mean, there's like a whole initial round where you get the fake ones that it's fun to joke about and be like, well, we know this isn't happening, so that's funny. But sometimes, I mean, the most annoying thing for me
is though, you get this awkward situation where like, there's no way that's real.
But it might be though. Yeah, you gotta.
No, but like then it is or whatever. Like you.
Oh right, you've clowned on Hackta. You've said that if this is true, I would eat my own left foot, and then it does turn out to be true, and you got egg on your face.
Personally, and changed his manga to fit.
Well, that's you see, the power of the Yeru no Mi enables me to yell so loudly here on the stream that Oda hears me and rewrites the story to my preferences. So that's you got the inside track here on.
Why hasn't it been more Gota lately?
Oh god, I'm realizing the ramifications of this. Well, the last 3 chapters were Gota. Okay, so those all won Gota.
I agree.
This one, maybe Oda didn't hear me. We'll find out.
That's okay.
And by the way, what am I saying? Fizo, aka Teal of TCB, is in the chat. Thank you for your kind work, or your stalwart teamsmanship, and preparing the scan for me. Appreciate that. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So Oda defends his hack manga once again this week by saying, "I finally caught a Galarian Moltres with my own hands. Has everyone else already got one?" And let me just show everybody what a Galarian Moltres looks like, because they're pretty sick, I gotta say. Okay, well, hang on. I got it.
It's interesting, like, could be just a translator thing, but it's like a Galarian Moltres? Technically, there's a legendaries. It's the Galarian Moltres.
Well, that's true, but in the world of Pokemon,
in his personal game,
yeah. There's a meta concept.
For sure. You can have 20 Zapdos.
I think what you're telling me right now, Shabes, is that this is already looking like strong Hackta vibes right now. I think it's over for the chapter, ladies and gentlemen.
No, he's simply a fake Pokemon fan. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, okay. That's
all I'm saying.
All right, and now we begin the chapter actually a mere 32 minutes after starting the stream up. Okay, here it goes.
Oh, Lamau.
All right.
What happens when you have a guest, you know?
Say again.
It happens when you have a guest.
Well, typically, but also it is extremely common for me to just do this even by myself. So
yeah, that's fair.
I'm known to get sidetracked once or twice.
I love streaming.
By the way, did you notice on the bottom left here, Carrot Bros? Is it our time? Has Carrot been detected and has appeared and joined the Revolutionary Army?
Oh, in that first panel,
I think it's guaranteed canon. Carrot joining the crew. Rise to greatness has begun. The year of Carrot has officially begun.
Dude. Again, it's one of those things where I'm like, boy, am I happy that I'm reading it
after all that
hindsight, where I'm like, is she not?
Hector really?
Oh, is he not?
I said Hector even by reflex. I didn't even mean to say it there, but I was gonna say Oda really let Carrot just kind of not. I know Carrot got like a little bit of a send off, but not really. Like a very minor amount of like screen time compared to Yamato, who got a whole like goodbye. And I mean this is a whole big thing, but I gave up. I voted and I made bets that Yamato would not join because I prayed to the Lord that it would not happen, and it didn't. But I was convinced that Yamato was joining, and it was going to be.
Oh wow, Eurocopia is like, we lost, boys. It's over.
Now again, I must say, I must defend. I put down money on, or it was at least on, or I think it was actually money on Yamato not joining. So I won. So my heart was in the right place. I just thought when Oda started bringing up all this stuff of Yamato being like, I'm going to join the. I thought it was so over, bros.
Right. But the people like with hinting and not gonna lie, I was convinced about it too.
Right.
Obviously, that conversation, and everything. I remember this one point where like they were talking about how there's these One Piece merch of like these towels.
The towel, the legendary towel merch. Yes. Oh, but the merch lore is really interesting because not only that, you probably didn't catch this, but there was another really interesting development that. We did the research on this. So after what am I saying? After Wano ended, there was the whole thing of Kid, Law, and Luffy are going to like the 3 next islands, right? You remember this? They all, they picked an island, each of them.
Right.
So there was a map. There was a map of the One Piece world that had been. You do the research, and it turns out it had been given to like travel agencies in Japan. It was a promotional material. However, bizarrely. The map had clearly labeled 3 islands in like a triangle, just the way they were shown in the like in the chapter where Law describes like the next islands that they're going to. And those islands were labeled on the map, in this like promotional material as. Oh my god! I think one was Sphinx, which none of them turned out to be. One was Elbaf, and the other was. Something else I can't remember, but not that. It might have been Hachinosu, now, if I like Blackbeard's Island.
In which case, that's 2 out of 3, right?
That's the thing.
Law went to Winter's Island. I'm sorry.
That's right. So one of them was correct with Kid going to Elbaf. The other 2 were wrong.
But like Elbaf, one of the 3 islands is like the easiest guess in the world.
It was a super easy guess, yeah. But what a weird coincidence that the geography was correct, just the labeling of the islands were wrong. But it does prove the point. You cannot trust promotional materials to lead you on, what's going to... and let alone the fucking towel thing with Yamato. No!
Oh, my God.
I mean, that's hilarious.
And that's also, like, it's this tough thing with me with, like... I need to see it officially. Of course. I don't want to have my hopes up about the color schemes, for example. I'm sure you guys have this all the damn time.
Oh, I got my Gear 5th tattoo with like the Goku orange hair right here. I think it looks really good.
But like even just I can't imagine. You've been in it much longer than me. There's probably been so many characters that have come up where you were just kind of pictured that their hair was one color.
Oh yeah,
and a different color in the manga.
The oldest example of this, which is somewhat famous, at least to me, is Mr. 4 of Baroque Works was drawn with black hair in the manga, and yet in the anime is blonde. And this is like a habit Oda seems to have of drawing blonde people with like black hair in the manga. Why is that? Who knows? No one knows.
It's strange.
I kind of think Oda just chooses arbitrarily when it gets, or maybe he doesn't even choose. Maybe he lets the anime people decide, and he just like approves it or something. I don't know.
I mean, that's tough because like he does still have to decide about colors when he's doing the volume covers.
That's very true. And of course, there's the famous example of Nico Robin's skin tone and eyes being wrong for the entirety of the pre-time skip, which is bizarre.
What's so interesting with that too is I don't know if you're familiar with this either, but like the end of film 2, like the anime film 2, which is before she debuts in the anime, I'm pretty sure she has the right skin color.
So they I guess the anime guy. Well, I guess that was the movie producers. They got it right. Maybe that's a different team than the anime team. And then it's
still Toei. I really don't know.
That's a good question. That would be a fascinating thing to learn the history of if they're different development teams that didn't communicate.
Only one shot. It's like one shot in the ED.
And you'd think that they would communicate on that. But you know what? I think from outsiders, it can seem like everything should work like clockwork all the time. And of course, everyone's like networking and communicating. But when you've got even a reasonably large company, and Toei is very large, maybe it really was just different teams. And they just, some guy, one animator was given that page to make the... that one image of Robin from like the ending, and then the anime team just did their own thing and didn't consult him. I don't know.
Yeah,
and came up with cool.
I'm not sure. Or maybe he was like he had that kind of miscommunication or something. Or
I
don't know. I really don't know. That's something far up the pipeline. I don't. That's weird that we've never gotten an actual answer to that. Like even like in SBS or something.
It would be nice if Oda.
He answers stuff about the anime too in the SBS, right?
It probably comes up some... Well, first of all, Uta has been a topic of great interest for... Well, actually, I don't even know if Uta came up in the SBS, to be honest. I might be pulling that out of my ass. But it's close. It's anime adjacent, and I feel like it probably came up sometime.
I mean, Jesus, he's been writing it for over 25 years or fucking longer.
I'll say this, though, about the SBS. The thing about the SBS is occasionally Oda... will observe a point of sort of legitimate criticism, such as when Mr. 3 was floating in water after Alabasta, which does not make sense.
Right.
Actually, have you read the SBSs, by the way?
No, I mean I'm still reading alongside. Like I'm still like
okay. You haven't spent all the time to go back. That's fine. It's just you might not have known the specific example because it came up in an SBS.
I don't even know most of the cover stories.
Wow, shameful.
I don't even know. I'm going to be like experiencing most of the cover stories like real time.
Well, that's cool. That's cool.
The anime stops adapting them.
You're right, after Buggy or something.
I think the only one they did was Buggy.
Maybe they did Kobe. I think Kobe got like 2 episodes or something.
Oh yeah, but I wouldn't have even registered that as a.
I never saw him. I don't think because that was 4Kids days, and I think they skipped those. Okay. In any case, let's continue. We're still on panel 1, baby. Panel 1. And we're 40 minutes in. We ticked over the clock. All right, we did it. That means 40 minutes per panel. That's how the stream's going to go.
That's how it works. That's math. I know. I can count.
All right. So we've got Sabo. Okay, everyone's favorite character, Sabo. Oh God, again. You're probably one of these guys, Shabes, that loves Sabo. I bet you think Sabo is so cool. Admit it. Admit it.
I really liked Toru Furia's performance as Sabo in the anime. That's the same voice actor as Amuro Ray and Seiya from Saint Seiya and Tuxedo Mask. He's like one of the most like iconic.
You mean Damien?
Very main character. Very main character type of voices.
Sabo, the new main character.
And then the kid version of Sabo is voiced by Naruto.
Wow, epic. Believe it.
But like that was like the most notable thing for me when I was watching the anime with him.
Yeah, sure.
Like, I think he just like he does seem like cool bait to me.
Well, yeah. I mean, again, we don't need to have a whole discussion about Sabo right now, but this will factor into the chapter.
Story. I'm still waiting for like this is his function.
Well, let me tell you, the thing that these days, the thing that annoys me the most about Sabo, I mean, getting past all that, like, look, his insertion into the story was obviously not planned, and amnesia as the explanation for why. Okay, I mean, we see what's going on here.
Yeah, that's okay. I don't knock amnesia.
I mean, it's a very tired plot device. It's extremely convenient the way it worked out.
I still don't knock it. I think.
Well, you should knock it. It was cringe.
I thought his moment, at least in the anime, of him realizing that not only did he like have that thing, but the fact that he had like as stupid as amnesia, and like his like embarrassment of just like his like
it's pretty embarrassing.
His guilt and like his like emotional. That was a really powerful moment, I think, for him.
Well, I don't discount that at all. When you look past the massive plot conveniences, I agree that certainly is going to be an impactful moment for the character. To me, it's a question of, can you look past those massive plot convenience? I get a little stuck
I look past
there.
plot conveniences every goddamn
I know that
day.
it's like your job. You're the best at it.
In One Piece? Are you kidding?
I get a little more stuck. Oh, okay, but my current grievance with Sabo as a character these days is specifically that I feel that a lot of what Sabo is doing in the story right now, he is fairly active. He's leading revolutions. Like, the plot is, things are starting to move with him.
They're making him very important.
They're making him up. They're building him up, which is fine. I feel that, unfortunately, considering that Dragon, his boss, has done exactly 0 things in the entire series, other than I guess I'll give him that he saved Luffy from Smoker. That was one thing that he did.
And then also, like, being there with Sabo. But again, we don't know Sabo's function in the story. I'm not gonna lie, like, I'm sure people have, like, I don't know. I've not felt the revolutionaries' presence. We will discuss
how the revolutionaries have lacked presence so badly for the entire series, and as of like this chapter, they are starting to do things, which is good, I guess. It's good. But the problem is it's
too late at this point.
I totally agree. I totally agree. And I was going to say about Sabo specifically. Sabo as a character, so the revolutionaries lack gravitas already because they've done so little in the story. Despite us, that's the thing. We are told how important they are, but they never do anything until recently when they've started. So, okay, but Sabo exists as like a character that actively drains relevance away from Dragon, his boss, because Sabo has done more like dragon fighting style stuff than the guy he theoretically learned it from in the entire series. Dragon has done none of that ever. Only Sabo has done it. The entire Revolutionary Army outfits of wearing like the top. Everyone's heard me say this before, but I'm telling it to you for the first time. Their hats, the goggles. It's not based on Dragon. It's based on Sabo. That's where the influence comes from, clearly. And so the whole organization,
okay.
No, go on.
I agree. And I also think what you were saying about like not really doing anything. I think the more pressing thing is like you just look at what have they done for the Straw Hats?
Well, nothing at all. They helped Robin once.
How do the Straw Hats like? I care the most about Luffy and the Straw Hats and their journey and stuff. And so how other characters factor into their journey and their importance, or not their importance, I guess. But like Mr. 2, for example. I give a shit
Everyone
about
loves Mr. 2.
Because of what he did for Luffy. And but even just like, I don't know, his relationship with the Straw Hats, with actually being their antagonist at one point or whatever.
See, this is the thing. You're absolutely right. I totally agree with you. So the revolutionaries, they are a political faction in One Piece. That's fine. That's fine. The problem is Oda has trained us to resonate with Luffy, and Luffy is actively apolitical. He only gets involved in things that directly involve him and the people he cares about. And sure, he'll help Vivi, defeat Crocodile because Vivi is his friend. He'll fight in Wano.
He'll only care about the revolutionaries because Sabo's his brother.
And if we get to a moment,
it's like, my dad, I guess.
If we get to a moment, for example, where like Sabo sits down Luffy and like convinces him to like not join them, but like, that will feel weird for the character of Luffy to get involved in. So I think the two elements clash a little bit in this. Now, I understand, and I like the concept of the Revolutionary Army a lot. Obviously, the Tenryubito need to be taken down, and Luffy's probably going to be the one to do it in time, somewhat in conjunction with the Revolutionary Army. That's totally fine.
I think it's just that Oda has introduced so many forces and characters, and we just have to see where they go. Well, at the moment, we don't know who they're being pitted against. So it might be these god warriors we'll get to later.
Yep.
But like it could just be like the revolutionaries are holding back the Navy, and that's why the Marines are not present for this final war between the four Yonko.
Yeah.
They'll be involved in some way. Why it makes sense that like this really important big presence that's been their antagonist the entire time. The revolutionaries are taking care of them. And that can be the reason. I don't know.
Yeah, and I'll give Oda a break too, because the nature of the world of One Piece, it is in fact that the world is very large, and we do not get insight into the goings-on in every corner of it every day. It's entirely possible that the Revolutionary Army has been doing very big, important things in the corners that we just haven't been paying attention to as we stick with our crew. That's totally fine. All I would ask for Oda to do is to and he's starting to do it now. So he's giving me what I want, to just sell their importance more, to show us in a way, hopefully, that would involve Luffy and the gang, so we kind of get it, on a more
especially in the
level.
way they did it in these next two panels, where Kaza was like, "Yeah, we had 3 objectives. Here's what they were, and we
that's
did
good.
them." And
that's
but like
good.
when we knew, maybe I wasn't paying enough attention in Reverie, but like I didn't know what they were there for. I could probably rescuing Kuma.
Some of us had criticism, including me, and I'll bring some of this up now as we talk about this. The idea of, if it was just to save Kuma, who's like effectively already dead, like, don't get me wrong, I understand the urge to save Kuma. I get that. However, what would it be like a tactically wise move to make?
Yeah, you're gonna risk all 4 of your generals.
Yeah, exactly.
By themselves to rescue one dying man.
So let's talk about that right now. So so the 3 objectives that Sabo's talking about, he's meeting with Dragon and Ivankov, and they're saying they declared war by destroying their symbol. Okay, we rescued Kuma and we freed as many slaves as possible.
That's the second goal. The second goal is like rescue Kuma-san and freed as many slaves as possible.
Yeah, you're right. That's one thing. And the third thing being to destroy their food reserves of Marie Joie.
Which is smart. I thought that was one of those like of course moments for me, which is one of my favorite things about One Piece, where like Oda makes these choices or whatever, and it makes me. I'm like, oh yeah, it totally like, it's a big deal that like they're up on this big lofty plane and everything that's like really high to get to, and there's no actual resources there. It's not like they have farms or shit. So of course, like their food if they cut them off, it's like, yeah, they're fucked.
Well, the thing is, I don't dislike that idea of it. I have just 2 thoughts about it. Maybe they're criticisms, maybe not. One being, I do need to really see that the world government's operation here. My instinct before recent would have been that, like, there's no way that the world government's operations can seriously be hindered by the Revolutionary Army. They just don't seem to be on that level of power or scale. The world government controls most of the entire planet. Can they really stop these guys from getting food transports where they need to go? Now, the answer to that question is maybe. It
seems that they made a dent. It doesn't seem like they stopped it completely. At least with the way that Dragon and Sabo are talking about it,
and that's fine, because the idea of the
motive, I think, is interesting. I think that makes sense to me. I was like, that's actually, I just like it conceptually.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's good. The only other thing about that is this concept it's a little abstract for a One Piece plot. So don't get me wrong, I'm gonna give it time. It's fine.
I think that's a genuine strength that One Piece has that it's not necessarily tapping into here.
But I appreciate that we're talking about political moves. They're adding pressure to Marie Joie. Now let me just cut to the chase. Is the lack of food reserves? I'll make a wild prediction here. Will this be the thing that crumbles the Tenryubito, or even makes a particularly big difference in their ultimate downfall? I suspect the answer to that is no. But maybe I'll be totally wrong, and we'll see them all starving to death.
I think there's fair credence to that, but I would also say it would be kind of funny, or just like,
sure.
Me, they're feeble. These guys
are
fucking like, if you take away their food, never mind just any food. These guys don't fucking breathe the same air as us, So like their standards are so astronomical, they might genuinely starve because they're not getting the precise kind of food that they want. And it's their own hubris that takes them down. So something is so easy and come on, like they just took away like the most fancy food or something, and that actually brings them down. I think that's hysterical. It's what they deserve.
I appreciate it. Of course it is, because they they just exist on the largesse of the world that they unjustly dominate and extract wealth from.
None of them earned it. None of them rule anything.
They ruled their kingdoms, and then they took over this place because they whatever.
And then, the families are it's like the people that live there have never, like, several of them like kind of go down to the real world for sport.
They sure do. Grab some slaves, kill some people.
For fun or whatever.
But I think One Piece is making an excellent point here. Taxation is theft. Simple as. Good point, One Piece. Thank you, Oda, for clarifying. Now we know. Okay, so this is what their plan is. And I've got one other point about this. So the whole maybe this is a silly point, but you know what was unclear to me before the destruction of this statue? You know, I just wasn't clear that the Revolutionary Armies had any beef with the Celestial Dragons. You know, to me, I had no idea that they didn't like them. Thank goodness they went out of their way to destroy this one statue in this place to clarify that they don't like each other and that they're gonna fight now. So, okay, it doesn't matter. It's just like it's a funny thing. They're formally declaring war or whatever. That's fine. Seems a little unnecessary to me, but whatever. And in fact, I would also argue, what tactical benefit?
It's certainly no shoot down that flag.
It's certainly not. And obviously, I feel the reference to the flag shooting here going on. Oh, it's like that other thing in One Piece. Yes, I remember.
No.
What was I going to say? Well, what tactical advantage is gained for the Revolutionary Army? Because these guys are smart. They're not like Luffy just acting willy-nilly. What was gained by declaring war on the Celestial Dragons, do you think? Why bother to do that?
Yeah. I just think they're the symbol of everything else. And I think they're sort of like once they get toppled, then it's sort of a thing, like a domino effect almost, or it just opens people's eyes and like, oh, anything's possible.
Well, Fizo was here saying to inspire the world, which is a fair point.
In this following page, where Dragon's like, yeah, we triggered uprisings in 12 different nations.
Yep.
And we were able to kind of like and bring people to our cause, sort of thing. And I think, because I think that's the flashiest possible thing for them to do if they want to send a message, if they want to change the world.
That's pretty good.
You go right to the top. If that's their intention, I guess. I think it's maybe not the safest or like, that's the most, I don't know, strategic or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, I think it's sort of about the image, and they certainly are getting that with Sabo being, becoming this hero character.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I guess the inspiration angle is not a bad one. That's a pretty reasonable point. Because they are. That is their exact goal, to inspire. And as Dragon says, it worked. It worked.
He's more of a pragmatic. At least his attitude comes off to me as someone who, is the one who's the mastermind.
Dragon or Sabo?
He's not the face. He even has like a hood most of the time. When he was, in the series, he had a hood for a long time.
Yep.
So it's like, he's definitely one of the more characters that likes kind of operating behind the scenes and not like kind of front facing. And
he
so,
sure
if
seems
anything,
to.
that could be a reason why maybe Sabo is like this, or he's put Sabo in this position.
That's possible.
Because he's hot.
Because he's a fireman.
He's so
yeah.
cool. He's got a top hat and cool pipe cane.
What do you think? Okay, Shabes, let's get this out in the open right now. The pipe. The pipe is cringe. Okay, the pipe is stupid. Why does he use a goddamn pipe as a grown-ass man? There's no reason for it.
I think it leans even harder into this thing that Sabo has this complex of like, I think he, more than Luffy or Ace, really cherished those days when they were pirates together and then they became brothers and stuff.
Sure.
His fit has not changed.
I know, because he's a man-child.
But the man's, it's basically like man's still living in high school.
And weirdly, Sabo would be the guy who would be most eager, you'd think, to throw away his like the dress of his Dapper Dan look, but no, he clings to it because he yearns to dominate and subdue these lowly plebeians. He can't tolerate them. That's what I get from it.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, somebody donated. Who was that? Anonymous gifted Fizo a sub. I'll thank you, Baxter, for that one. And Seb for 2 months here. Nate, your stream is cool. Nate, your stream is the only thing that could lift me up on a bad night like this. Thanks, Nate. You really are a cool man. He said, no doubt, ironically.
Thank you, Baxter.
Well, to you I say.
Has he hit anybody with the pipe?
Has Sabo hit anybody?
Yeah. Yeah, has he actually used the pipe
as an adult? I don't. See, that's the thing. I don't think so
now because he has Ace's fruit.
I don't think that he ever has hit a single person with a pipe because he fought like Fujitora briefly.
Yeah,
nothing happened. Oh my God, the hype train!
Just
thank you, Baxter.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It's just aesthetics. I'm sorry. I think it's cringe. What can I say? The rest is fine. The rest of Sabo's design is it's fine. He's like a nobleman. It's fine. It's totally cool. The pipe, I think, because again, Ace and Luffy don't have the pipe anymore. And they don't even like fight with sticks or anything like it. But Sabo does. Why?
Yeah.
Why does he hold the pipe? It's not like you can't move on. Luffy and Ace did. Okay. I'm just saying. Cringe. All right.
Makes you think.
It really makes you think. Oh, and 100 bits here from Siviert.
Thank you, Baxter.
Thank you, Baxter. I appreciate that. Okay. Moving on. Yes, let's acknowledge Scuff Piece. Okay, let's acknowledge this drawing of Dragon is not Oda's best. I mean, honest to God, you look back at some of the old artwork that Oda's drawn, and you're like, wow, this is so crisp and not even necessarily detailed, but well drawn as opposed to this. This looks terrible. That's the main takeaway.
It's the mouth.
It's a lot of
things. I think it ends up. You know what ends up? It kind of works for me. I'm such an apologist, but like it kind of works for me in two ways. I think the silhouette is still very strong.
Sure.
His hair and everything. I think it's just really captivating, and also his eyes. It's his eyes that are all that focus on. But then, the longer you look at it, it's like, what's going on?
Something's not right.
Like, what's up with his mouth? There's like 3 lips. You know,
it's not ideal, and the thing
quick,
is, if this was a mangaka's first chapter, I mean, hey man, I'm not a stick in the mud. You know, I don't need things to look perfect all the time. The problem is we have literal decades of this man's drawings that look really good, and any moment you can compare them, and you're like, oh no, this is not. And, you know, I don't know if you've heard, but Oda has mentioned briefly recently that there's like some issues with his eyesight or something. It's giving him some trouble. I sympathize that, you know, I mean, I guess it's good. We're getting to the end.
I literally cannot imagine.
It's just, I mean, you know, I understand.
Again, I'm never concerned about the story or with Oda in terms of, like, obviously I want him to live a long life and be happy and healthy and everything. But the fact that this man, and maybe this is a copium or something, you know, but it's like the fact that this guy told the entire story of One Piece to Goro Tanazuki is his last, the director of the One Piece OVA before the TV anime came out. He just told them the whole story, and he's like, "Yeah, I've known how One Piece ends this whole time." And he's lived with this information, and then he, you know. He talked about, I believe he mentioned this with his interview with Aoyama, Detective Conan. That author, where he's like, every time I get a new author, I sit them down and I tell them the whole story.
Or you mean a new editor, right?
Yeah, when he gets a new editor or a new assistant or something. I don't know how much he tells us. I don't know. But like, it makes sense that he would, you know, really have it telegraphing it. And I'm not saying Oda planned it all along. I'm not like that copium, but
well, that's good, because I've got some things to push back on here a little bit.
These connections, it's not that hard. It's not as genius of a move. Obviously, it's very effective, and I love when he does it. But I'm not under some delusion that this is all according to Keikaku or something.
I mean, One Piece was supposed to last for 5 years, is what we were originally told, and obviously it would have been a different story. And I mean, I agree. You know, I can be very critical of some of the things in One Piece, but I agree that he probably had the wide, broad strokes of what the ending will be, and I can believe that is still the case as for how it's going to end even now.
Especially when he made the comment recently where he's like, I've just been motivating myself because of how fucking badly I want to draw this final saga. And then I'm just like, I'm so happy you're here, man. I'm so happy you made it.
Now, okay, I will push back and ruin the good vibe that you just introduced a little bit, because I do feel that, like, all those speeches are at least 50% PR. And while I believe them, I don't think that he's lying. It is just, I can't ignore the vested interest he has. And everyone does on the entire team, and all the editors and all the animators and all the, you know, merchandisers and whatnot, to be like, oh, just trust the plan. Just trust the plan. It's gonna be great. When, I mean, just for example, we were told that the guy who made Attack on Titan knew how it was gonna end since pretty early on, and that didn't end so good.
Well, didn't he say he changed
the plan changed, but that's the thing. That's the plan changed, and while Oda says technically he knows the ending.
Last minute, he's like, actually, maybe not.
Well, when Oda says he knows the ending, he could mean that the crew gets to the last island and finds the treasure and continues on their adventure, and it would not be a lie that he has kept that vision the same, but all the details surrounding it could change. And so I've been burned so many times, and I just don't want to leave myself open. And I don't think it's cynical. I think it's only practical to observe the reality.
I think that's fair. But you have to. I think you would want to acknowledge that it can turn to cynicism.
It can.
I agree what you're saying is pragmatic, but there does need to be a balance there.
I'm perfectly happy with the balance. That's totally fair. That's totally fair. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And by the way, I noticed Tesla. Thank you for gifting the subs.
Thank you, Baxter.
2 of them. Very kind of you. The hype train or whatever is going. Pipe train gods. I guess they do like the pipe after all. Thank you. Okay. Let's move on to the next thing.
Oda's just been dying to reveal the vice captains of the Revolutionary.
He's been absolutely dying. Since chapter 1. Since chapter 1, he's been waiting.
No, that relates to a different quote that he said at one. I just love that that one Twitter account, Sandaman.
Oh yeah. Who tweets all that stuff?
Very wholesomely shares nothing but Oda quotes. And there's that one where he's just like, dude, I just love drawing characters. I just love making new dudes. You know?
Like how he famously made all the supernovas.
I understand everything now. I understand now.
Yeah.
Why Dressrosa is like this.
It's good
why
to
Wano
understand.
Is like this.
Yeah, exactly. And when you understand the motivations of a creator, of an author like Oda, you can understand why the series has gone the way. Like a lot of people who don't read One Piece, this is the big thing. People always marvel at like, wow, it's like so long. There's no way like it just repeats itself. And I'm sure it's not, and of course none of these people have actually like read it or engaged in it. They just know that it's visiting new islands, and on a certain level, they're right that there are some very similar, motifs of like the various islands he goes. He get a tragic backstory. Somebody joins the crew. That's the early stage, and then they go and they fight a boss and they save the island, whatever it is. But you can do a semi-repetitive story well if you just do a good job and tell it well.
What's wrong with it? Like, what's wrong with it? If it works, it works.
I get it sure does, and it does. Okay.
Dude, it's like how did it? Me and my roommate and I were just so fucking angry at how good the law flashback was.
Oh, it was so good.
We were just like, how does this man keep getting away with it? He just did it the same thing again,
he
and
sure
it
did.
Worked. It did it again, and it worked.
Oh, okay. Well, since you brought up law, let me just ask: well, I don't want to just ask in a loaded way, but how'd you feel? What do you think about law? How do you like law? What are your thoughts on law?
So okay. Not gonna lie. I had the vibes of a Shikamaru or what is the ice guy from Bleach? Just like Hitsugaya.
Yeah.
Who
yep.
Very clearly,
Daddy's little pet, whatever it is.
Gonna give him more stuff, and like almost feels like secondary main character.
Right? Yeah. Obviously true.
That being said, I was treating him like, okay, I know this dude's the most important out of these supernovas.
He became that way. Yeah.
Right? I know this is the dude. I'm gonna treat him like, okay, you gotta prove it to me. And him slicing the mountain in Punk Hazard's really fucking cool. Like he's alright.
So
it was
cool. Fine. I still don't even know how he did that. I guess he just made a really big room.
It's sick. It doesn't matter. It's amazing. No, but he's cool. I do like him.
Did he ever get a bit much for you at any point? Because he got a bit much for me. I'm not gonna lie.
Sure, I get it. I think his presence is measured as of like because of how long Whole Cake is. And I think from what I've been watching of Wano, I'm at the part. I literally watched the episode before we got into Twitch chat. I watched the episode of Momono, the raid. Like they do Snatchy on Kaido.
Yep.
And there's a little more, and Luffy's starting to fight Big Mom and stuff like that.
The coolest moment in Wano, the snatch moment.
It's pretty good. And the anime does a really good job justice to it. What was I gonna say?
Law. Thoughts on Law?
I think Law's presence in it has been very measured.
Well, I think in Wano it got a lot better. I mean, obviously Dressrosa is the big.
Like, look, I'm here.
Yeah.
This is partly my plan is, but he's not like. Dressrosa where it definitely feels like it's his thing, because it really it's like, I don't remember.
And have you heard the thing that Dressrosa was not an arc that Oda intended to do? It just kind of popped up at a certain point, and he decided to add it into the rotation because he's
I can completely get that.
I know, right?
Honestly.
Yeah.
But, like, I think it works because it allowed him to have these kind of two mirroring arcs of, like, not mirroring, I guess. I like that there's a decently sized chunk of a decently sized arc with half the Straw Hats. And then the other half of Straw Hats for Whole Cake, because I imagine the Whole Cake was also feels kind of like a detour, almost.
I suppose it's just like the best detour ever.
But it works. I know.
Yeah.
I really like Whole Cake. No, for sure. I like Dressrosa as well. None of this. This is not to like knock any of them.
Oh, you can knock Dressrosa. That's allowed.
That's allowed.
We allow that here.
Yeah. I mean, One Piece has literally become like my second favorite anime. I fucking love this show.
Yep.
And so it's like, I really like the structure. I really like all the arcs that he ended up going on, and the overall format. And I think it's going to be even more satisfying once this final saga is hit. You know?
I'll summarize my thoughts just for comparison, which is just that there came a certain time, and it was post time skip, where it felt like Oda was not giving enough attention anymore to the main crew members of the Straw Hats, and really got interested in his new toys.
That's true.
And
it's true.
that sentiment, I think, guides a bit of resentment I have for, for example, Chopper, for example. I mean, just unbelievably,
I get it.
he's got nothing going on.
Robin's worse.
Robin's terrible.
Robin's just happy to be there.
At least she got something in Wano. I mean, she got like a fight, which was, that's better than nothing.
She did.
I
haven't got to that, but I know she does.
Oh well,
No, I know shit.
So I mean, okay, anyway, just making a point there, and
No,
meanwhile,
I'm
Law
100%
got
with
all
you.
this
And
attention
my copium
dumped
for that,
on
my
it.
personal copium is that, like,
Yeah.
they can't, like, they're adults. That it's not just like them being on a merry adventure anymore.
Well,
that is sort of loss of innocence almost.
Well, listen, in a more meta sense, the real explanation for that is very simply that we have done the arcs of all of these characters, and they have established who they are. That's not going to change. I mean, Sanji got a mulligan because Sanji got.
I think there was more for Chopper. I think there was more for.
But that's exactly the point I would make. That, for example, Wano being like the Zoan arc, which I expected it to be and didn't turn out to be, but then it kind of did with Luffy at the end. I'm laughing. Isn't that funny, guys? That could have been. Imagine that you do some sort of like whole. Again, by the way, curing the smile disease thing with Chopper.
Hindsight's amazing. Hindsight is a hell of a drug with fucking Wano, because at least in the anime, I'm gonna say that so often. You have the Oden flashback and you have the eye catches.
Yeah.
And they're paralleling Oden and Luffy.
I haven't seen the anime there, so I don't even know what those eye catches are. What did they do for him?
Yeah, well, so it's sort of like they're just showing a scene from Oden's flashback. That's it's not like any. I'm pretty sure most of it was like nothing was. It wasn't like original or anything.
Yeah,
it was like a scene that maybe you had just seen, like Oden exploring the islands with Whitebeard or something, and then they're mirroring it. That there's two flashbacks, right? Like, there's two eye catches, right? Yeah. So like the first one would be like Oden, and then the other one would be like a scene from One Piece with Luffy and whatever, and it'd be like, oh yeah, okay, or something like it just connects the synapses.
I see.
I can't give like a particular example.
Yeah, that's fine.
That was something to me where it's like, Luffy's the guy. Luffy's the one who this is about him. And I understand with Zoro for sure. I guess but then also I think I am able to temper my expectations. Because I knew about the whole Zoro kills Kaido thing,
right? Which he will. There's still time. The raid will fail, and arc 4 of Wano will begin. It's not too late.
It's like so I'm able to, again, hindsight's a hell of a drug, but I know it's an alternate way of.
And also, let me just throw into this conversation: fuck Oden. He was here for he was just another Law. All right, everyone sucked his dick for so long. Okay, look, in actuality, I have a nuanced opinion about Oden, which is, again, he got so cocksucked by Oda for such a long period of time, And when Odin wasn't on screen, everyone was asking, "Where's Odin?" And he was Whitebeard's strongest man. He was Gold Roger's best friend. Oh, actually, he was the one who wrote that thing on the poneglyphs. Gold Roger? Oh, no. He didn't have anything to do with that. It was all Odin all along. And you could argue some of those things were set up.
No, he does not say that. That was Roger's intention. He's like, "Hey, Odin, can you do this? Can you?"
As of the retcon that happened with the Odin flashback, that's the new case.
But that's still Roger's choice to doing it. That was still Roger being like, "I
this
want to
is
make
a criticism
my
of
mark
Oda. Of Oda, not of Roger in that moment. It's that Oda. I mean, we're getting into an old theory thing, but
the chapter.
Okay, no, I have to finish the point on this, and then we'll move on. It's just that Rayleigh. Maybe you haven't spent as many years diving into this, so I don't mean to talk down to you, but
no,
perhaps you
Rayleigh's
forget
his
this.
man, dude.
Okay, well, yeah,
Rayleigh's his
my point about this is that Rayleigh, when Luffy met Rayleigh specifically said, when asked by Robin, what they know of the true history of the world, because she had read the poneglyph. It said, signed, Gold Roger was here, whatever it was. And she said, how could Roger read that? What did you find out? And Rayleigh's answer to that question. Now that we've consumed Wano, you'd think that in a conversation about how Roger understood what the poneglyph said might have something to do with mentioning, oh, well, actually, you see, it's that we had a guy who literally can.
It's like how your crew
it's his
has
family
a guy,
thing,
Like,
only with you're right. But what was Rayleigh's answer? Rayleigh's answer was, oh, well, the thing about that is Roger could just always hear the voice of all things. That was his answer to how did you read the poneglyphs and understand them. He didn't mention a single thing, what I detect the aura of a retcon here.
Isn't he referring to the voice that Odin also hears? With that weird voice that later Luffy and Momoka hear.
Well, you're sort of right. So this is the issue. I feel that the voice of all things, which is a concept that's separate from this, has been introduced, and I suspect its purpose has been kind of warped and changed over time. I mean, that's not a big deal, but Roger also says in that flashback where we see Odin reading from the poneglyphs in Skype or whatever, he says oh, I can hear a lot of voices in this one. So Roger can hear the voices or whatever from this rock, but also Odin's the one who literally read the words on it. So when Robin asked Rayleigh, how did you get the ancient history or whatever, you aren't scholars, Rayleigh he didn't bring up that there's a guy they had that could read it. He only brought up the secondary, less important factor that Roger could sense. I mean, I'm just very confused.
Yeah, and then that's fair. That's fair. Although I'd also argue that, this is me. I love doing this.
That's all right. Go ahead and cope.
Find logic about these things. Yeah. I think Rayleigh was being cryptic that entire conversation.
I know, but I've looked at that conversation a few times.
And he teases them. He's like, "You really want to know?"
That's true. That's true. But again, I really feel that with this one, there's not. You can't really give Oda that much of credit here.
For sure.
He she asked a direct question. He gave a direct answer. Yes, it was vague, but he did not at all bring up that there was a guy that could do this thing, implying to me that wasn't really now maybe I'm wrong, and Oda's gonna open up his notebook when he finishes One Piece and say, well, as you can see, I planned it all, but I don't know.
Sure. I don't know. I certainly enjoy it. But anyway,
I don't hate all these things.
Odin is neither here nor there. I more enjoyed Odin's flashback for what we got of Whitebeard and Roger.
I liked the part where they all said, Odin is my best friend and I love him more than anyone ever, and he's the most important character. That's my favorite part of the flashback.
I feel like you're big.
Am I being critical? Oh, I would never do that. About the best character, the actual main character of One Piece, Odin.
No, I just don't know what you're talking about.
I just feel that the narrative went a little hog wild about loving Odin at that time. I think they could have dialed it down a little bit, and it would have gone over a lot smoother. That's my hot take about Odin.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you know what else actually?
Yeah.
You know what's funny about that? I literally only just thought that as you're saying that.
Yeah.
Do you think maybe the dick sucking on Odin's flashback is because it's being told by the Akaza, by the Nine? Because flashback happens. That flashback is never told to anybody. we're just shown that flashback. And when we're shown that flashback is when they're at their lowest point, when they don't think anyone's shown up for the raid.
No. Okay, you're introducing this like what's the word?
I just know it was
unreliable narrator version of history. No, that's not what happened.
Just like, I don't have that much stock in it. I'm just like, wouldn't it be funny if it had kind of not an unreliable narrator effect, but like an unreliable bias.
Okay,
effect.
now this is copium. This is pure concentrated high-level copium. You are overdosing, my man.
That's what I said. Where I was like, I understand that this is what I like doing. Where I'm making these mental gymnastics of like, no, it's good because of this.
And you are swinging on those monkey bars in a most impressive manner.
I'm an Olympic level.
All right. Well, okay. Let's read a little bit more of the current chapter of One Piece. Let's see what's happening. Okay, so we're on like panel 4 now. Okay, here we go. It's been an hour and 20 minutes almost. Okay.
I can understand why we have not necessarily been engaging with this chapter so much because, well...
I mean, there's not... frankly, people have observed, not a ton really happens this chapter.
The dude called it the truth about that day, and we've gotten no such truth.
Yeah. It's a hype chapter. It's a next chapter surely will be the big reveal. And, incidentally, when we get to the end of the chapter, I have to... So there are some active bets going on the server for it's a bets of honor.
For what it is.
Real honor is at stake for it was last chapter. It was like what's going to be revealed about the Sabo like next chapter. Some people thought we wouldn't cut back to Sabo for like another 100 chapters or something because they thought it'd be a cutaway. Anyway, we'll get back to that once we finish. Remind me, people in the chat, if I forget, but I'll make an effort to remember. Did I cut you off? Were you saying something, Shapes?
No. What was I saying? Just how mid the chat? No.
Yeah. Oh no!
No.
My God.
Surely not. No. No. What the fuck?
There were better chapters than this in One Piece. In One Piece's history,
especially in this latest stretch. Jesus Christ.
Well, let me ask you this. So, how do you feel about one of the criticisms that I have about Egghead?
I haven't know how you've been feeling about Egghead.
So the stuff on Egghead is the York reveal. I thought was fantastic. I love what's going on with York.
That's awesome.
Yeah, no, I really do. A lot of the original stuff, like some of the clone stuff, I take sort of an like it's like it's like clones is what we need in One Piece. I mean that seems like a little strange, but okay, whatever. Well, I'm past that
that's
mostly.
From Whole Cake. That's from Whole Cake.
I know, and it was still kind of weird then too. Okay, but whatever. But what's been done with Vegapunk as a character specifically, and I mean, I find the philosophical implications of not the one that pursues like not the evil version of Vegapunk, whatever the fuck that means.
The one that has to shit and eat.
It's specifically the one of desire or whatever you call that. That raises. I mean, I just love that from a philosophical perspective, that like that would be the corrupting influence that would drive someone to do something bad. I love that. I think that's so cool.
I don't necessarily see York making so much of an impact. I think that there is it's certainly a wrench that they have to deal with.
Well, I mean, I would love to see, like, so we've got, all the good Vegapunks on one side. I would love to see what, like, a rogue Vegapunk that applies, like, her intelligence at, like, its maximum level to try to, like, do some sort of scheme to make this, interesting ends happen and undermine the people that are trying to kill her. I mean, if Oda can write some cool, clever, like, reveals about that, I already love what the York reveal, what the York reveal did. I hope that we just get more good stuff. I'm worried a little bit that
I think we're only scratching the surface with this arc. Okay. It's not that I say that this is going to be a big one or anything. I do feel like it's kind of on the level of Zoe or something. Kind of like
it feels that way, but I mean, the narrator keeps bringing up like this epic event that will happen in 24 hours or
oopsie.
Which frankly I could do without. Just let it happen, Oda. It's perfectly fine, but I don't know. It's fine.
I mean, what I was going to mention earlier, I forgot to, but the reason I think that we're going to get something next chapter is I think I saw, at least in the TCB comments, that it's the end of the volume next chapter.
Yes, people were saying that. Yep. I think so.
So it's sort of like, okay, that's something to keep in mind for sure.
Yeah, and that's not always going to dictate where things go, but they do in fact think about that when they're constructing their manga and stuff.
Yeah,
and so
100%. It's a factor for sure.
Yep.
Anywho.
Okay, let's try to make a little progress here. Okay,
Yeah,
so as Dragon was saying here, as Scuffed Dragon was saying, their attack in Marie Joie did have some results. 12 nations did an uprising. 8 of them were successful, and then Ivankov wisely says, well, you say 8 were successful. 1 did get nuked and obliterated from the surface of the Earth, so that's not so good. Okay, fair point.
Do you count that in the 8? Did you count that 8 were successful?
I'm going to give that to yes. Okay, you win, Dragon. Right. The headline censored everything, but all the 7 others have declared that they will no longer pay tribute to the Celestial Dragons, blah, blah, blah. And the Revolutionary Army is attacking government supply carriers to stop them from resupplying those stocks of food that were destroyed. Yeah. So the Holy Land's high location, as we talked about, makes it impenetrable, but they'll now be under siege, and they're gonna have to live in poverty and hunger like everybody else down on the ground.
Fuck idiots!
So yeah, I mean, you know, again, like I'm looking forward to kind of seeing the Revolutionary Army justify the level of influence that is being implied that they have here on like the world stage. But once we do that, I mean, I find this a cool and interesting plan, and I like seeing the world government being pressured in this way to do something. So
that's what I'm and like I was saying that like there's so many pieces in one piece, but ultimately I don't know if I've obviously not made my I think I've made my piece in Piss Pirates, but like. I really do think that the final saga is a royale with the 4 Yonko and just them, you know, and
that's a bold
everybody
prediction.
Else.
I have no idea.
But then everybody else is still involved in some way in the story, but like amongst each other. But like they're just going to bring their bet, like the 4 Yonko. It's just sort of becomes more of a personal battle, not like a one-on-one, or I don't know, but just like. I would want it to be a little more isolated and not just like this big 4th Great Ninja War or something where everybody's it's all encompassing or something.
Well,
I think Oda's trying to kind of wean us into that by way of him, like, you know, it's been like 2 months since we've seen Luffy or any of the Straw Hats. Like I think it's like 5 or 6 chapters.
Yep, it's been a while.
So it's you know, that's really, I think that's interesting. But I that's sort of what my call would be. I don't know why I was bringing that up. But yeah, I was bringing it up because I think the revolutionaries, their role is to take care of that major force that would have otherwise been there.
So basically, they're going to do off-screen things while our characters do cool on-screen things. Because that's what I think. Yeah, that's what they're for.
Rather than off-screen the Revolutionary Army Marine shit than off-screen like, what do you want to see?
No, I don't want to see any of that. That should all be off-screen. I totally agree.
It's like, I don't know. I'm good with just the Straw Hats, please.
Yep, I'm perfectly happy with that.
You know?
Okay, I think events will transpire quickly here. Okay, Ivankov is very excited about this. Yes, they're doing a good job. Yes, we, the Revolutionary Army, finally did something. Wow, awesome, cool.
Right.
There's a positive results. So they'll still get some supplies, but they're struggling now. And okay, here we go. So Dragon now comments, as expected, they're not a foe who'll just take it lying down. Our real battle will start when they mobilize those men, the legendary God's Knights. Which people were posting around. The term God's Knights, I think, did come up at least one time in the past. I think this is more of a clarifying.
Oda, you genius.
Oda, he's done it again. Chapter 1. In fact, if you look, it actually was a Chapter 1 type situation. He mentioned them briefly there.
Oh my God.
Okay, all right. Let's acknowledge now. Okay. What's going on here? I see a figure in the middle. That's a very familiar looking figure. Okay. Could it be? Could it be? Hang on.
I wonder to think back a couple of chapters. What was that one character there for?
I think
to talk about a certain pirate.
Well, think back a couple chapters and then think about a couple more chapters, because it's obviously Higuma the Bear. He's coming back. Chapter 1, baby. It's a Chapter 1 situation. There he is.
Chapter 1.
Alert! Sound the Chapter 1 alarm!
He made a bet.
It's brown hockey time. Yeah, he's come. He's come with his brown hockey. He's going to destroy us.
Your stream, and I was like, God damn it.
Chapter 1 situation here. Chernobite comments, damn, I missed the hack to vote, but thank you for 12 months
thank you,
of easy money. Okay, no. I've been fronting, all right, but there's actually a man it's going to be instead, okay? It's not Higuma the Bear, okay? There's a man even more implied, okay, even more powerful, He's been rising recently. I think he's going to take the world by storm soon.
Yeah.
There he is. Oh, there he is. Okay, chapter 1, baby. There he is.
Thank you, Baxter.
Dolan Drumps, ladies and gentlemen. He's coming with his golden hockey. He shall rise.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I think this is a chapter 1 situation here. No doubt about it.
Definitely.
Okay, all right.
It's so funny if that's like a long-running meme. It's like a chapter 1 situation.
That's chapter 1. I think is the greatest contribution.
Only back in chapter 1, baby.
That's what we have contributed to the great One Piece discourse, is that we sarcastically, facetiously bring up things to humiliate and degrade our argument opponents by implying that things or saying that things were brought up in chapter 1 when they obviously weren't. It's a demoralization tactic, and it's extremely effective. So I'm gonna keep it up. Okay.
Good shit.
Okay, let's just ask, could this possibly be Shanks? Because it kind of looks like Shanks. I'm thinking no. I'm thinking it's probably not him.
I wasn't thinking Shanks, and then I saw people in the replies saying that. I was like,
he does, like, the silhouette looks a bit. His sword is similar,
I guess the sword is similar.
Very few. If he's got 2 arms or not.
Oh, but it's got to be Diamond Jozu, man.
It's Diamond Jozu, obviously. That's true. That's true.
No, I'm sorry, it's not that. I keep getting confused. This is why we're reading for it is whatever. But like, fucking Diamond Jozu and
Squard,
Dapper Dan Swordsman,
Vista, Flower Sword Vista, bro. Come on, put some respect on the name. The man who humbled Mihawk. Mihawk wishes that he could stand up to the Chad Vista.
Yeah.
Mihawk was defeated by Buggy like 2 chapters ago. Meanwhile, Vista has not taken a single L in his entire life. So, I'm just saying.
Right.
Fraud Hawk, yes. We call him Fraud Hawk around here. Nate, if you watched Film Red, you would know who this is.
Yeah.
If only I'd done that.
Are you that scared of promoting my film?
I'm terrified. I would never do it. Although my queen Uta is trapped in that film, and one day we will free her. And,
I'm happy that she's your queen, man.
She is.
I fucking love that movie.
Have you actually seen it?
Yeah, like 3 times.
Oh, you're serious? Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I was
no.
fucking serious.
I have not seen it. This might be weird. I have
of course you haven't. You haven't seen the anime since 2005, Nate.
Well, yeah. I mean, look, if the movies were good, and frankly, Oda's doing a terrible thing lately.
Good. I mean,
yeah, that's a big if. That's a big if. Because Stampede was not good. Did you watch Stampede?
Out of 15, I get it, but I've only seen.
Let's just address recency. Oh, well, have you watched Baron Omatsuki, whatever that one's called, the one everybody loves? By Mamoru Hosoda, right?
I watched that movie before I watched One Piece.
Oh, well, that makes sense, because it's actually a good movie, and it's well made, and Hosoda is an excellent filmmaker when he wants to be. And,
I also watched Stampede before I watched One Piece.
Stampede, huh? That's,
because my college friend, who would talk my ear off about One Piece, and was really like the reason I know so much about it is because I would ask him questions about it.
Yep.
And then we went to saw Stampede together in theaters. So yeah,
I can't even remember which one Stampede is. I gotta look it up.
No, that's the one where literally everyone shows up.
That's the most recent one with not the most recent, but
it's like the
one with Douglas Bullet, right? The one with Bullet.
It was 2016, I think.
Okay, it's the one with Douglas Bullet, right? It's the one where, and this, maybe you can vibe with me on this. It's the fact that the fucking reveal. Okay, now some argue it's not a reveal.
Since then, by the way, I've not since I've become a One Piece fan. I wonder how I would feel about it.
Okay, well,
watching it,
you might not see seethe in the same way because you weren't following it at release at the time.
Okay, but I can't remember. Yeah,
One Piece film, Stampede, whatever. Stampede. It spoiled the reveal of the Raftel laugh tail thing. And it obviously was a big moment in the manga, and the manga chapter where it's revealed came out after the goddamn movie that revealed that the true name was Laugh. And people pretend that that's not a reveal. It is a reveal. It was pure speculation before.
Right.
It was a reveal. It clarifies things. Yeah.
I didn't even make that connection. I had always kind of assumed that's what it was because I understand, especially because that was around the time I think. Was the first time they mentioned Raftel during Laboon?
It was, it was with what's his face.
It's the first time you bring up Raftel, I think.
Cronus brings it up, I believe. Yeah.
Right, the arc before that is Logetown, Rogue Town. Like,
yeah,
which is,
yeah, right.
Like, of course, there's gonna be like random like. If people are like, no, it's actually Logetown, guys. It's like, okay.
Well, actually, as a matter of fact, wasn't it clarified? So it is Logetown, as it turns out. No, actually, you might not even know this.
It is Logetown because
of prologue and epilogue.
Yeah, that's the reasoning behind it. But there's literally a sign, both in the I think in the manga, but in the anime.
Well, okay, but the thing is, even that can't be trusted because Oda makes lots of LR spelling mistakes other places in the manga. So I'm just saying,
ever, man.
He's not the best English speaker in the world, you know. But
but I think that there is something. Obviously every English speaker was spoiled to that because
not even true. True. That is incorrect, and I'll tell you why. Because I was in the trenches for years. I had even heard speculation back in the day. Someone said, like, I mean, this is maybe like 15 years ago. I think I remember reading like some thread somewhere of somebody being like,
"It sounds like Laugh Tale."
It sounds like Laugh Tale, and at the time, people, the reaction to that was basically like,
sounds
okay,
gay.
That's a decent theory. It sounds gay. It was like that's a decent theory, but like I don't know, could be lots of other things. Could be Raph. Like I don't know, something. It could have been anything, you know. It was a theory that was a good theory. I would even say it was the best theory, but it was just a theory, which is totally different from a confirmation in the story.
Sure.
So
sure.
That's why One Piece film Stampede, whatever, is. I mean, not only did I just hate every moment of watching that movie because it's just information overload that totally sucks.
It's just silly.
It's silly and dumb, and fucking Sabo Ghost or Ace Ghost shows up. I don't even care about that. That was just funny. But it also spoiled goddamn Laugh Tale, and I'll never fucking forgive it for that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, the manga chapter where it's revealed with the famous Roger laughed is one of the greatest like fucking moments in the entire series. It's awesome.
I swear I knew about that for years.
Yeah.
And then I finally watched it in the anime and I still cried.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
Like, what the fuck?
Memories is an amazing song, and it was. We were actually just arguing about this.
As well.
There was somebody in the chat who was saying that it was like a bad song choice. It was Jam. It was Jam in the chat saying that it was a bad song choice because it's just plain a nostalgia, bro. And I was I think brilliantly making the argument that that's exactly the point. Nostalgia is good.
Ass.
Nostalgia is
I'm
a
so happy
tool.
you got his ass.
I did. We defeated him in the marketplace of ideas with facts and logic. That nostalgia is merely a tool to be used in some ways, and this was in fact a very effective usage of nostalgia for a flashback about the guy who started the whole story of the story, and it's good, and it's nice. So there you go. Yes. I know, Jam being a contrarian. Imagine that. Indeed. Indeed. Okay, all right. Let's make a little more progress here, shall we?
Knights.
Okay. So the God's Knights, I don't know. Obviously, Oda's introducing like the faction that's going to fight for them.
There's going to be more cool sword dudes.
I guess I'll make the point that like, don't we have enough Guardians of like? Isn't Cypherpole already in this function? Whatever. They've got a bunch more special super knights. It'll be some cool fights. There will be at least one good fight out of this batch. I'll bet my bottom dollar on that. We'll get a good one of these days, hopefully.
Against Kobe, who cares? I don't know.
Yeah.
Kobe fights one of them. Like, all right,
that'd be fine. That'd be fine. Okay, Ivankov. Sabo's gonna be their target. Okay, we're gonna skip along. Oh, you're the Flame Emperor. Haha, isn't that funny? And Sabo says, "I'm not too hot on that name."
I was about to be like, man. I wonder if Viz is gonna go with that one.
Oh, he's gonna say.
I wonder if I don't. This is dumb, but like, do you think that they read TCB being like, okay, I'm not gonna do that?
That's a good question. Fizo's in the chat right now. Fizo, do you ever feel that guys like Stephen Paul might see your work and use it to check theirs and be like, ooh, that was cringe. Guess we better not do that. Okay, Fizo says here, the pun is just on us. He just says he's not crazy about it. Fake news propagated by Fizo and TCB scans. You heard it here first.
I liked the choice, but this is why I read. I was about to say this is why I read the anime, and I'm a fucking moron. No, this is why I love the anime so much, because one of my general problems with manga, it's not like a trend. You know, it's like I support. You know, I'm happy TCB's doing it, and I'm not like one way or the other.
Yeah,
just in general, I I own raw manga. I own some manga that is untranslated, and it's kind of difficult to read. I'm not the most fluent in Japanese or whatever.
Yeah.
But I've heard a shit ton of it.
Sure.
So
sure.
I'm pretty good. I like to think that I'm pretty decent when I hear dialogue, and I don't have to kind of read the subs because they're there. I watch a lot of raw anime too. So for me, I like hearing the dialogue as the Japanese dialogue, not like what they actually say in English, like what it means or something. You know, I would have liked that it was that's an actual translation. That's something he does kind of make a pun on himself or something.
Me too.
But I'll give credit to CCP. I do like that translation a lot. I think that's awesome.
You know, it's a editorial flourish. It is funny. You know,
and those are awesome. And it's like, to me, I want to appreciate that and not just make it, because all I have in my head is like, is that what they say? Because
I think the same thing. I think the same thing.
In the anime, I can hear it, and if the subs say I'm not too hot on that name, I'd be like, oh, nice, that's funny. That's a cute, like, good job, translator. You know, because I know that's the translator doing that, and not actually what the character said. But I'm okay with that. You know, there's that. I'm okay with there being that dissonance. Some people are not okay with it.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm one of these people that doesn't really like when things get changed. And I mean, in a moment like this where it simply isn't a big deal,
throwaway line,
not a problem, you know. And moments, but the thing, some people extend it a little bit too far, and then when things start to matter or affect characters in some way, then you know I can get a little cagey about it. But this is why.
There's a similar thing with like when Sandaman, I think, pointed this out. They do a lot of like lost in translation things where Kaido and Big Mom, when they say they're going to get the One Piece, and then when Shanks says he's going to get the One Piece, and then when Buggy says he's going to get the One Piece, they all use different
phraseology, right? Yeah,
and it's kind of based on certain.
Like the Fizo here pointed that out to us. Yeah.
Right. You know, and I like that a lot. I would never, or maybe I could. Maybe there's something there, but like, I highly doubt you would get that from a translation like this.
Extremely unlikely.
Right. And I don't blame them. Jesus, I don't want to do it's nigh impossible to, like, it's really
some
hard.
Things are kind of just inherent to specific languages, and Japanese obviously is one of them too. And And
that's why I like listening to it. You know, that's just me personally.
And this is One Piece is the main motivation. I've been hard at work working on my Japanese recently. And, so
that's awesome.
Yep. I'm working on it real hard these days.
Absolutely.
In fact, once we're done here, I've got to go get my grammar study in for the night. But so I guess let's hurry along, shall we? Okay.
Keep moving.
All right. So Dragon saying the truth of Cobra's assassination doesn't matter because the news reports have given Sabo the credit for it and made him a hero as such. In the eyes of revolutionaries everywhere, Sabo, authority figures within the world government are hated for being subhuman monsters. Now, that's another one. Fizo, I would love it if you could clarify if there's, like, I assume, again, this is sort of a writing flourish, but I thought the term subhuman monsters was interesting, and I was kind of wondering if he meant anything even in that vein, or if that was, he just meant like they hate them, and you said something that is a little more like specific here. Feel free to clarify that, you know, just warning if you got
the verbiage would be interesting to know.
But he goes on to say there are certainly many malignant, power-hungry despots who deserve that reputation, and then Dragon, the most revolutionary man in the world who sees a king, kills a king, all right, says there are also a number of intelligent and fair rulers too. Dragon loves monarchy. He thinks they are so cool, and he supports aristocracy. He supports the existence of the world police and the Marines.
I think he's seen LGH and understands the argument.
I think so.
What if the king's just a really cool dude?
I mean, that is his point. It's really funny because, I mean, you know, a lot of people read One Piece and they like to ascribe, you know, like real life political views to it and stuff.
Yeah.
But the extent of Dragon's logic, he is not even close to thinking this issue through to like the way I don't know, like an actual revolutionary would. That's like, you know, we can have a good king, but like with this whole like passing down to their heir. What if their like kid is like bad or something? No. That couldn't possibly happen.
Nuance. Fuck?
It's really funny how because One Piece, you know, it's for kids. It's not going to get that deep into this stuff. That like the head of the Revolutionary Army is only anti-bad monarch. She's actually totally fine.
Obviously, Dragon is talking about Cobra in this instance when he's saying there's a number of Phantasm Fair rulers like
Cobra,
Cobra. But then also for the readers, and I'm not sure if he would necessarily pick these people or anything like that, but for us, when we saw Reverie, there's a number of those kings that we like. At least I think
that's true.
Doldrick is a sympathetic character. I think
King Tacos, based in Red Pilled indeed,
is a sympathetic character. I think
Wapol, my man.
But like when he's, I think but even just the guy who does take over Sakura Kingdom. I forget his name.
Oh, Dalton. Yeah.
Yeah, Dalton.
Yep, he's a good guy.
I think when Dragon is saying that, I think he is sort of it's also as Oda. He is kind of like addressing that, like, yeah, there are guys that we care about too because they're cool. It's like, oh, you're cool.
Oda believes in the enlightened despot theory.
It doesn't matter that they're kings, is what I'm saying.
Right. I mean, again, if this was the real life, you could go on to have a nuanced discussion about, like, well, what about the ramifications of a long-term monarchic presence? Couldn't that be blah blah blah? That's not what One Piece is about. Who cares?
No, exactly, and I'm okay with that.
I always, whenever this stuff comes up,
very like that.
It's one of the things I really like about One Piece, that it keeps it light. I'm not here to worry that deeply about a bunch of far-reaching issues of the day. What was I going to say? It was, I always say, whenever, like, the politics of One Piece come up, like, what is Oda trying to communicate about the real life? I always say, the point of One Piece is that, it's like, tyranny, generally bad, freedom, generally good, but not always. That is the ultimate takeaway of the One Piece moral, I think.
Definitely.
And
I think, I think it's like, what his biggest strength, I think, is his characters, and so the readers take away from One Piece is like, do I want to be like this character or do I want to be like this character?
Be one of the good ones. Don't be one of the bad ones.
Literally,
that's what he's saying. That's what he's saying. Yep. Be a good person.
Be based.
Just be based. Don't be cringe. It's as simple as that, folks.
Yeah, it's not hard, guys.
Okay, so yeah, okay. He now that he's done simping for monarchy, Dragon goes on to say, oh no, he's continuing. Alabasta. Ooh, me and Fiza go back and forth. I like Alabasta. He's translated as Arabasta. No, I think that's cringe. I think Alabaster sounds way cooler, so that's what I'm gonna keep saying. Whatever.
We'll always give a stink eye to the L and R switching for everything. Yeah. Everything in One Piece at this point. It's just like,
it's true.
God,
it's true.
So dumb. little nitpick of whatever, and it's like, who cares? I know what you're talking
It doesn't matter.
about.
It doesn't matter. Oh, Arabest is more accurate. Yeah, whatever, nerd.
Okay.
We got a book and read, and nerd over here cares about facts.
At least,
how about faith?
At least if whether you're on Arabasta or Alabasta, I think we can all agree it's not Alabaster.
Well, that's definitely true. It is not that.
Not with a T-E-R. Like, okay.
I pronounced it wrong there before. Okay. All right. So misinformation is spreading. They think Sabo killed Cobra. That's the point. And now here comes Sabo. Okay, here he comes.
Yeah, this is an interesting line.
Well, I feel bad for what happened to King Cobra. Okay, fair. He feels bad, but I can live with it because of all this played out helps fuel the flames of rebellion. Okay, interesting. And Dragon responds, "You are really unshakable." And they go on. Okay. Guess we'll just finish this and we'll go back. And he's like, "What happened? Is there any truth behind this?" We shed tears over
finally
this.
Get an actual image of like Sabo killing Cobra.
I mean, yeah, that's what's said. Sabo does seem to be standing over him, with his epic lethal pipe standing over him. Wow,
he actually
what a deadly
hit
weapon
someone with the pipe.
But he didn't even do it. It's fake news.
It was Sabo in the living room,
in the throne room with the lead pipe. Yeah. We all wanted to believe, so we didn't believe in this because we wanted to believe in you, Sabo. Okay, even though it looks bad. It looks bad. Okay.
And then that shot of him looks like a lot like, oh shit, they took a photo of that.
Yeah, didn't want them to see that. This makes me look very not good. So okay, let's acknowledge here. So some people have said that like this panel makes it look like Sabo is like, he's being more revolutionary here. He's being like, hey, can't make an omelet without breaking a few eggs, which is true and fair. And when you're really conducting a revolution, Yeah, that's probably gonna happen. Comes with the territory a little bit.
Well, yeah, a lot of revolutionaries are suffering for a lot of innocent people that have nothing to do with it.
That's certainly true. Certainly true. Now, will the ends justify the means? I mean, certainly there's a case to be made there, especially in the case that, I mean, Oda's gone so far out of his way to make it crystal clear that, like, the Tenryubitou are truly evil and despicable. Although some of them are nice guys, actually. We have actually met a couple of them that are like not so bad, but or maybe it's just the one that Otohime like converted to being a good guy again. Something Doflamingo or Don Quixote, whatever his name is.
Side note, I really liked how that came back around.
That was awesome. Yeah, that was great.
Really cool.
That was a great detail. And Otohime is like one of my. She's an arc character, but she's like one of my favorite characters in the entire story. I think Otohime is fantastic.
No, it's a great pick.
Yeah,
she's great.
I love her design. I love her.
I liked Tigerfish too.
Yeah, he's great too. He's great too.
I was not a Fishman hater.
I am a Fishman hater to this day. I think they're subhuman. I think they deserve what they get, and they will face the fire.
I thought I was talking about... Never mind.
No, I'll give you this though. It's just that the will you won't you of Jinbei joining the crew annoyed me for quite a while.
Oh my
God! Just join the crew. Just join the crew. Why? There were like three times.
I understood it at the time in Fishman.
Yeah.
What really annoys me was the
end of Whole Cake. That ending, honestly, the end of that arc kind of sucked. It was really weird. It
was weak. It was so weak.
Yeah.
It was so weak. I talked about it in one of the Piss Pirates, but I'm just like, it just kept going, and it's like you didn't have a bang ending.
Yep.
You could have.
Yep.
There were several moments that like that's how it ends. That's the bang. That's like the how Skypiea ends with like the shadow of Luffy and everything.
I loved a lot about the ending. Obviously, that's one of those moments that you're like, oh, the entire point of this arc was to get to this panel. And that is my favorite panel in the entirety of One Piece, the Shadow one. It's the best moment in the series. Banger. It's the best moment in any manga of all time. And but the ending of Whole Cake by comparison feels like, how are they gonna get out of this shit? I don't know.
And they're done. Oh, they got out.
Jinbei saved, and then it's never even brought up how Jinbei got away, how he held them off.
I don't even care.
And we're never going back. We're never going back.
I didn't even care. I was just like, okay, finally, fuck. And it just, but like to me, it was just not like I was in the trenches at the time, but like I can't imagine how frustrating it was. Where he is very clearly a member of the crew. He is a straw hat.
They had like the welcoming thing right there
in Whole Cake.
Yep.
And then he's not in the color spreads. Or like in the merch or anything, he doesn't.
So bizarre.
They don't treat him as that because you don't know if he's dead.
I really think they just should have look. You can rewrite a couple of details. Just have Jinbei join the crew at the end of Fishman Island. It makes total sense. It makes so much sense.
Or end it on Big Mom eating the cake and then getting knocked out or something.
I mean,
because that would prove Sanji's point.
Anything like that would be fine.
She's just like, all right, let's get him. It's like.
It was a big flop. It was a big flop. But
whatever.
And what was I going to say? Oh, there was a donation here. Oh, Chernobite with 12 months. Oh, no, that was new. It was the JoJo Banks. Thank you, Baxter. Appreciate that. Okay, Jinbei hate over. We'll come back for another struggle session about hating Jinbei. Okay, we'll be back. We'll do that for another couple of hours.
I don't hate Jinbei.
Well, that makes one of us.
It's clear.
No. Okay. Again, I always say I don't hate Jinbei. I am annoyed with how long it took. That did leave a bit of a sour spot.
I think his implementation is disappointing, but his character is great.
His implementation is, especially the way that the ham-fisted way that he was now integrated into the. I mean, I always bring this up with people. In one of the SBSs, you might not even know this, but in one of the SBSs years back, Oda clarified like the roles of the family members that are the Straw Hat Pirates. And at the time, like Frankie was the dad, and and Robin was the mom. And I agree that doesn't even like make total sense. They have no.
Yeah,
but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Talking about, but that's not really.
The other ones make better sense. Like Zoro's the oldest son, then Sanji's the rival second, then Luffy, then Usopp, then Chopper. Okay, it doesn't matter. And Nami was like the only girl. It works. It's cute. I like it. But then Jinbei comes in, and Jinbei. They kick Frankie out of his position and they make him the grandma, the grandmother. Oda.
Wait, in the SBS?
Why? Yeah. He's not even taking this seriously anymore.
Like, okay, Frankie is now the grandma.
The pervy grandma is what Oda said. That doesn't even make sense. What are you talking about, Oda?
Well, he is old.
Jinbei's not the stepdad. Jinbei's the dad that stepped up. Okay, let's respect it.
Yeah.
and now Oda's doing this whole thing.
Father than any of them.
He's putting fucking Jinbei around and having Robin be like, "Oh, he's so handsome all the time," even though that's my wife, not Jinbei's wife.
I'm literally at that point in Wano where like it's the two of them, and it's like, do you have a hot sperm or something? Like, all right.
Let alone the anatomical coordination here. It's not going to work out. Okay, I'm just saying the size difference here. And wait, I was. Oh, and one other point, another absolute hacked thing about Jinbei is that Jinbei obviously designed to look like a sumo wrestler, because Oda said that like Robin is Russian, Luffy's Brazilian, blah blah that stuff.
Yeah, okay.
Jinbei is Indian. What? He's clearly a Japanese man. He's a sumo wrestler. It doesn't make any sense. That's dumb. And it's just because there already was a Japanese guy with Zoro he couldn't do too. See? Cringe. Yeah. Zoro is cringe. He's a tacked-on member.
Then just do a different ethnicity. Chinese.
I mean, I guess Chinese would be closer. They probably got some sumo over there. I don't know. I don't see the Indian connection at all.
Doesn't he have a kimono? Like, exactly.
Yeah, he's a kimono-wearing sumo wrestler guy. It totally doesn't make any sense. Monka says, Nate, I don't hate Jinbei.
Yeah,
also, Nate, I hate literally everything about Jinbei, both in the text and in the meta-narrative. So true. So true. You got me. Okay, you got me. No, he's actually fine. He's actually okay. Wait. He is literally Yokozuna, the Samoan guy that oriented to be a Japanese sumo guy. Okay, first of all, Yokozuna is a title. There's not one guy named Yokozuna, but there could be a Samoan guy. But notice, Jinbei isn't Samoan. He's Indian by Oda's articulation. So I don't know what the fuck he's getting at. Okay, all right. Let's move along, shall we? I'm getting all worked up. He's talking about the wrestler from the wrestler from WWF or whatever. Oh, okay. That's fine. Yeah. All right, a month ago, flashback. Here we go. Okay. In Marijois, battle is happening. This is the Reverie flashback we've all been waiting for, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go.
You can't knock us for not getting to the point when Oda didn't get to the point either.
Exactly right. You can't blame us. We're just following his lead. A bit hacked, I would say.
You learn from the best.
Okay, now here are just some innocent young saints just trying to have a fine walk with their slaves. Meanwhile, here come these revolutionaries interrupting the party. Pretty cringe, I would say. Frankly, I'm on their side. I think they're the good guys here. I think that's what Oda's been trying to communicate, that the Tenryubito are in fact the good guys. So they're attacking, they blew up the storehouse, someone save us. The revolutionary army, oh no, it's the 4 captains. Even though Bello Betty does not show up in this chapter. I don't know where she is, but maybe we'll see. Yeah. Okay, so they blew up the symbol, they took away the food, they suck, I don't like them. Okay, that's the point. And then we have a very intense-looking female Tenryubi, I think female anyway. Because there's not too many female Tenryubito. I think because Oda doesn't like to draw ugly women, typically.
I was about to be like, Ed Otis doesn't draw more than one type of woman.
Exactly, right, exactly. That's, again, one of the reasons why Otohime is so great, because she's different looking, and I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, so whatever. They hate the revolutionaries. Don't do that. Cool pirate guy getting whipped because he is the guy that this guy's riding, okay, just like in Shabonir Archipelago and like in other times, cool, they use humans as slaves. Epic. So, okay, the point is they're doing lots of bad things to bad people, and here come the revolutionaries to clean it up. So here comes Karasu doing some soot blast attacks with his bird bomb.
Again.
Wow, really cool. Really, okay, I'm speeding up because we don't need to discuss all these details.
Okay.
Yeah. That's the thing about when things get more action, you can get through them like way faster. Because, it's Overhaul from My Hero Academia, guys. He's back and he's better than ever with a bald head. Okay, CP08 or CP nothing agents, Cypher Pole, presumably guys who wear suits doing something. They're shooting him. He's surviving because he's made of soot. He's a soot man. Okay, and he did a cool attack here with soot. So presumably he's a soot Logia. And that's pretty cool. Unless, of course, he's another special paramecia, just like Katakuri. And
well, yeah. I mean, it doesn't say that it's a Logia. It just says the Sitsud fruit.
But I mean, the way that his do you know the full backstory?
I think it makes sense that it would be Logia, but at the same time, it's like
I know that Oda introduced the category of special paramecia. I know that he did that, but the thing is, he is a dum-dum and shouldn't have done that because
saying it doesn't matter all that much at the end of the day.
Oh, that's certainly true. That's certainly true. But did you know that?
Cool shit, man.
Did you know that Katakuri? The original design for him was to give him a flower Logia devil fruit. He was going to be a Logia flower man, but could like manifest those powers. I think in similar ways to the way he does now.
Okay.
But I think
it turned into a donut. But it was a flower?
Well, that's the thing. He turns into donuts now. He could have done that before as a flower man. He does it now as a mochi man. I think it works both ways.
Flower as in like
flower as in the powder.
I thought you meant like the plant, like the daisy flower.
No, not like Roku-gyu.
I thought you meant like I thought you meant the plant flower.
Okay, like... I see the confusion, but
yeah.
and the theory. So Oda, he had planned for him to be a Logia. And then he had to change his plans, I guess, because, and this is the theory, I heard that, well, maybe this actually might be a theory, I don't know if I heard it anywhere, but that because flower isn't a technically naturally occurring element, and if you read, like, the kanji in a Logia fruit, it means, like nature elemental system. There's an implication of, like, a naturally occurring... like natural element factor there, and well, things like swamp or whatever that like Karibo is, or I guess soot here. Assuming this guy's a Logia, I don't know. I guess soot occurs naturally if things get burned or whatever. I feel that he really could have gotten away with it if he made like the flower Logia devil fruit. It would have been totally fine. And the category of special paramecia was invented to justify this, power system that he wanted Katakuri to have, but it wasn't necessary whatsoever. And you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying here? I just don't think it was needed. It's one and only one fruit, and it just doesn't. It didn't need to do it. Oda. And meanwhile, first of all,
worried over nothing.
He's making up the rules anyway, so just make up whatever rules you want, man.
It's his system, so it's like, okay, all right, that's what you want to do.
Cringe. I find it cringe, but that's okay. I forgive him. I don't
necessarily come to One Piece for the power systems personally.
Well, you say that, but meanwhile, the entirety of the best arc, Skypiea, is defined by the power.
Haki and devil fruits, and how like they seem kind of opposed of each other.
Haki's cringe. Throw it away into the trash.
I like it a lot, actually.
Some aspects of it are tolerable. Others are unfortunate. Okay, we can't get into a Haki discussion. We're going way late anyway. Okay, Karasu is doing soot things. That's fine. Laser shoot gods. We're doing it. We're shooting our lasers and freeing slaves. What's this guy's name again? Lindbergh. Yeah, Lindbergh. Nicely done. And he is a mink. So I guess he knows Beppo and all our favorite mink guys. Cool. Okay, what else is going on? Okay, there's Fujitora, everybody's favorite man who kneels, and this guy's putting up a decent fight, it seems, against Fujitora. So not bad. Okay, here's Morley doing cool like diggy miney things as one does, fighting Roku-gyu, who again is just putting on a very unimpressive performance. Roku-gyu needs some W's in a bad way, but he's just not getting them.
I think this is as well as Fujitora. Although Fujitora has had good.
Well, Fujitora is a jobber also, so
he's got good character moments, but like, they're not. I think the people when they see Admiral in One Piece, they're thinking they're on the same level as Kizaru, Aokiji, and Akainu.
One would assume so,
Yeah, one would assume so, and they're not.
They're clearly not. Fujitora has really not done very impressive things. I know he's done a few things that were not bad. The meteors are not terrible. But again, I mean, talk about
I like his character, but not for he's not Aokiji or Akainu.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Those guys utterly trounced them. And I mean, if Akainu was here, everyone would be dead in the vicinity in mere moments, and that's why he's the best. But yeah, I would love to see these guys do a little bit more. And I remind you, Shabes, Fujitora, canonically, along with Zoro and everyone else, was not able to stop the birdcage in Dressrosa.
Are you one of those people who are upset about that?
I'm absolutely upset about it to this day. The birdcage was the biggest piece of hack writing in the entire story.
It's not that big of a deal.
Oh, well, you can say it's not that big a deal, but
I just kind of a cute little. It's like a fun little last minute not a little pressure thing. I didn't take it as like this big deal.
Bro,
or something
Zorro
like
could not cut it. Are you shitting me? Are you goddamn? Justify that, Shabes. Justify that. How could Zorro not cut it?
I just think it's like, okay, that's what it is, and then it just gives them a thing of like, there's this pressure of like everyone's, and it gives them something that they all have to work towards.
Okay.
Obviously, they don't.
You're talking about it on a meta level, which is totally fine. I understand the meta thing there, but I just think in the literal sense of what's going on there, it was quite silly and worthy of criticism.
Yeah, but that's if you care about like the powers, and like, oh, he can't, whatever.
Well, I care about it more than Zero.
I don't necessarily.
I think. Look, I
think in those terms.
I am not a power scaler guy. However, I do think the tiers of power, they do matter to the narrative of One Piece. So I pay attention to them to some degree because you gotta. But okay.
I like it as well. I agree with like there's something with One Piece in particular with that it has this groundedness to it. In a story that's like so fantastical and like anything can happen and all this outrageous stuff and the character designs obviously. There's always this feeling of like, oh shit, they could die. Or like, he could die from that, or like, losing an arm, or like, certain things about it that always bring you back down to earth. And there's just something about it, I love it about that. But I don't know where it's going with that. But
no matter. I mean, we're talking about power systems. These are relevant factors. You got to feel a sense of tension.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah,
indeed. Okay, well. So in this specific example, the copium that we're huffing is that they're boxed in by the environment. They can't go all out.
Generals are on par with the admirals.
I mean, I would say that Rokugu specifically has a very effective ability on 1v1s. Like look, their hands are very close. Give him the suck. Give him that old drain suck that you do, Rokugu. That's an extremely effective tactic, and I'm just like, maybe Morley is fast and tricky and dips and dodges. Okay, all right, maybe that's true. But, you'd think that would... Now, Fujitora, on the other hand, is not very good in close quarters, because those meteors would, in fact, not be very useful in a, in a battle situation like this, where you're trying to not cause casualties in the area. You're in the middle of a city. So I get that. And also, I'm actually wondering if Fujitora is like, intentionally losing this fight, because it is, in fact, a terrible idea to call in a meteor strike now. And maybe Fujitora kind of does seem to have issues with the state of the world, and probably isn't the biggest fan of the Tenryubito. But I don't know.
Neither here nor there.
Okay, so right. So we're copium. We're talking about how they can't fight all out, and then here we go. Now here's a panel of note with
one of the panels of all time.
One of the panels of all time, no doubt. We've got. Let's see if I can name them all correctly. Jabura, Bluno, Khalifa. Oh God. Okay. Oh my God. What am I saying? Chapapa guy. What's his name? My favorite Doriki measuring guy. Fukuro. It was Fukuro. I remember Owl. Yes, I got it.
Fukuro, yeah.
And Kawamori. No, it's Kata. God damn it. Okay, somebody will say it. It's something more. Yoi. He's a cool Kumadori. Yes, thank you. Okay. So these guys are all in CP0. This was confirmed before. Like Oda confirmed it in some conversation, or like they were in like it was in like the film Red or something that I didn't see.
Well, it was film Red where they wanted to use Bluno and Khalifa. In some capacity, and they're like, why aren't they in CP0? And it was like, I don't know.
But they weren't they?
I can make them CP0. I guess that's fine. It's like I don't really have a.
So the point of them being in CP0 that's odd is so did you didn't read the cover arc of the like
Nope.
The CP9? They go on like their own little adventure thing or whatever.
Oh, that's cool. I had no idea.
They have one, and I don't want to spoil it, but just because it's relevant to this, I just want to say that like the point is that it ends with them on really, really bad terms with the government. And I mean, me and the boys here, we've all talked about this in the chat like a million times, but just to summarize it, like it feels like Oda just brought back Lucci because, like, you know, we want to do more things with Cypherpole. We're getting into like the world government arc. We want to show characters protecting the Tenryubito. Let's bring back Lucci. Even though the way that they left it was like first of all, if you just didn't have that cover arc, I would have understand like not firing CP0. Although promoting them after the worst loss in like CP9 history is a kind of hard sell on its face. But then they go out of their way in the cover arc to put them on like terrible terms. Like it's really bad. It's hard to believe. And like Spandam shows up in the post time skip. Why the fuck is Spandam in CP0? He's not a fighter. He's an administrator. That was the point of the character.
Not really shown up afterwards.
He showed up like one time in the group with them, and the implication was that he's like not their boss anymore. He's on even terms.
Yeah, no, I remember that.
Which
like
if you think about that, it doesn't make.
He hasn't shown up again. He's not even on Egghead.
That's true. Maybe Oda thought better of that because it makes zero sense for him to still be there. He's not a fighter.
Because I thought he died in Eddie's lobby.
He definitely could have, but nope. Apparently not. Apparently not. Okay, here comes Fiza with a copium. Okay, CP0 isn't necessarily a promotion, but a change from intelligence to bodyguard/fighting. That's some copium that I don't think I swallowed too well, because why were they even, like, let back, considering how bad on terms they were after the cover arc? Okay, we'll worry about that another time. The point is that they're fighting, and things are happening, and yay, here we go.
Here, they're present.
They are present. Okay, so Sabo is in Pangaea Castle. Great name for a castle. Love that. And they're trying to free more slaves or whatever. Okay, that's the plan. And so, okay, here he is. Oh, he's inside. He's sneaking. He's the chief of staff of the Revolutionary Army, Sabo, the Flame Emperor, soon to be. And Kuma-san's in Pangaea Castle too. He's been spotted. He's with the father and son, Roswald and Charlos, our favorite characters. Everyone loves them. And they probably want revenge for... I think his name was something Don Quixote. It was like Homing Don Quixote, whatever it was. Clearly a relative of Doflamingo. Beat him up and scared him off because the Cypherpole guys weren't able to make him go away. Excuse me. Okay, Fizo, I'm glad we're on the same page relatively. They shouldn't be back, but they're not necessarily promoted. I can live with that in theory, but we'll see. Okay. So they're using Kuma-san as a slave. That's not cool. Won't let them get away with it. We see Shirahoshi is having fun. Bonnie, when she was doing her Bonnie things back there, that's cool. And now Vivi. Sorry, were you saying something?
No, it's like I'm here too, guys.
Yep. There they are. Remember how she was present and might even do something relevant? We'll find out.
And accounted for.
Indeed. And here's Vivi, the character with the greatest forehead of all time. There she is. Are you familiar with that one page? There's a section of the One Piece manga specifically where Oda just starts drawing the foreheads unbelievably huge, and there's a famous one. Maybe I can. Okay, I can't find it right now.
I bet I can find
Somebody in the chat, go find it. Link the page so I can pull it up on screen, just so I can show Shabes and everybody else out there.
Oh, there's like they draw tic-tac-toe. Yeah, is it
Vivi forehead. All right, I'm gonna Google it. Okay, it's the tic-tac-toe. That is the actual size of the forehead, though. That has not been modified.
And you go into the images, it's like a pink background.
Yep, that's the one. Okay, I found it.
Fucking egg.
Talk about Egghead arc, huh? You know what I'm saying?
Talk about Egghead, yeah.
I swear, this one is not modified. And there's another one here. I mean, I brought this up before, but just for comparison, there's another one here from like the same chapter. It's so nuts. It's so because the character designs change. They didn't always look like this. Because I was just looking at like Dragon Ball character designs, and those characters, they're designed in a way that you don't notice it, but they also have unbelievably gigantic foreheads throughout the entire series in Dragon Ball. And that's fine. Yeah. That's fine because
I notice it.
Yeah, you know, of course. But not everybody reading might notice it.
Sure.
But like this is what Vivi looks like normally, for example. I'm showing the people at home. You may or may not see it, but like a far more reasonably sized forehead here. And then sometimes it just changes. But okay, so we've addressed the forehead question. Okay. So beyond that, it's like being in the long arm tribe.
Talking Pirates' greatest hits, isn't it?
Indeed.
That's up on the lore. It's everything. This is great.
We're covering all the bases here. Okay, so Vivi is yelling at Lucci for not helping Shirahoshi, who was going to get kidnapped or whatever. And oh, do we have another one here? Oh, this is epic. Is this a real figure? Oh, that's sick. It's like giant forehead Vivi figure. I would love to have that.
Yeah.
That's adorable. Okay. So yeah, will protect you, says Lucci. Like you protected Shirahoshi, not gonna happen. Because they're gonna target her again, and it's true. The whims of the Tenryubito are respected more than anything else. Even these royals are mere playthings compared to them. Nate, wait, sorry, there's a comment here. Nate, have you seen that meme comparing Vegeta's neck at the start of Z to the end of it? It's like 3 times the size. No, but I'd love to see it. If you have it,
I believe
I'd
it.
pull it up.
Yeah.
These things, it changes. Have you you might have noticed, Shabes, that I point out Gold Roger because he's like the first character introduced. His physique when he was first in the story, and even like hundreds of chapters in, was very modest. And then his recent depiction as of like the Odin flashback, he's like doubled in size. He's he's not
jacked.
He's absolutely ripped. Yeah, it's hilarious.
Love that. But I also love. But you know what my favorite thing is in the fucking anime?
Yeah,
they have him voiced by this voice actor who I only know. Have you seen Kaiji?
Yeah, I've seen Kaiji. Yeah.
You know, do you remember the Chairman Hyodo's voice?
Is that the old man he duels?
Yeah, the old dude. That's Roger.
That's Roger. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, no, and he just has this like it's so good.
I mean, Roger's
especially
voice is
with,
legendary, of course.
The moment when Odin attacks Roger, and then he has like the Ikok-sane, and then he's like, it's so funny.
He's got a
so
great
good.
voice, doesn't he? Oh, it's a Kamisari, which we call here atheism slash. That's what we know.
Cooks, yeah.
It's a Kamisari. Is that what you're thinking of when he attacks Odin and he hits him with that?
I think it's Ikok-sare or something.
Wait,
yeah.
And you're saying that Roger's doing this attack? Just to clarify.
He says divine sovereignty.
Yeah. Okay.
In the anime, yeah.
Wait, I'm afraid.
In the Japanese phrase, he says something like I mean, you could have the clip. It probably has.
You have. I'm afraid. I'm sorry to say you have mixed up your connections here. It does sound like the Ikoku sovereignty, which is the attack that the Elbaf giants do and Big Mom does. But this is in fact a distinct move called, I believe it's called Kamisari, which is like God Slay or something.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm sorry, you've been debunked and utterly humiliated live on stream.
Well,
I'm so sorry.
Hold on.
All right.
It's right here.
Roger only has like one named attack, and it's that one. I'm telling you.
It is that one. Yeah, it's just that one.
Yep.
It's a big one.
It's a big one, all right.
It sounds similar.
It does sound similar. I can understand the confusion there. You know, I'm not blaming you.
Okay, so the sub says divine departure, and then he says...
Yeah, yep.
I'm dumb, yeah. He says Kamusari, yeah.
There you go. All right, and debunked, humiliated.
Oh my god, I love his face.
It's all right, we forgive you. He looks great. That shot of the anime is beautiful. I watched that one. I mean, that clip gets fed to me by YouTube sometimes, and I do click on it. Oh, the shot of like the sparking in Roger's eyes in that clip, and the way, I mean, he stomps in like the ground. It does that anime thing of like turns into cubes as he squishes into it. It looks so sick. It really does.
God. Yeah, samurai.
Oh, that's actually a pretty good imitation right there.
Oh, it's
not
great.
Bad.
I love it. Did you know that not that you're an Odin fan, but
I forgive him.
Odin is voiced by the guy who plays Koji Kabuto, the main character in Mazinger Z.
I did not know that, but that's cool.
Yeah. So it's just like, it's that thing with One Piece in particular. It's like they get everybody. They get like every single famous voice actor who's ever lived. Except
I guess they've got enough characters
were dead
to do
by
it.
the time One Piece came out.
Yeah, that's true, isn't it?
Besides them, they pretty much get every single legendary voice actor in there in some capacity, which is great. It makes sense because there's so many characters in One Piece that only show up for a very brief period of time.
Yep.
So they can have that kind of like special appearance, and they don't have to have this big commitment where I'm there for hundreds of episodes or whatever.
Depending on the character, they might show up in like 50 years though when Oda, throws them back into the story. But
that'll
they get a couple of years of lead time to make time to do it though. So
I think they've only replaced. I think that I could probably be wrong, but I think they've only replaced 2 voice actors.
Do you know who?
For characters. They've replaced Jinbei's voice actor.
Oh, really?
Very early on. Like the original Jinbei was like 3 episodes, I think.
Okay, all right.
Really quick. Which is unfortunate. But then Mihawk's is changed.
Really?
I'm pretty sure that Mihawk's is a different voice actor. Yeah. But I think that's the extent of it. I could obviously be wrong. But yeah.
Okay, well, all right. We're getting close, people.
Oh, wow, really? That's fair.
Wait, who else was it?
Sakazu Akainu.
He got a new voice actor?
Which is too bad because Akainu's original voice actor was the Kaiji narrator.
Oh, well, that's cool. That's cool.
Which I love.
Speaking of Akainu, just briefly, I feel so sad. He has been so mistreated post-time skip by the narrative, just by being trapped behind a desk doing paperwork. It is such an unfortunate fate that he has suffered. He needs to be out there killing pirates every day, as God intended for him to do when he was put on this earth. It's such a fall from grace.
I think it's his punishment. Like, it's just like, that's what you get, man.
He's suffering from success.
He was he was gunning for that position. And it's like, what did you think it was? Dummy.
I mean, he does it, but it's unfortunate. And the Marines have not been looking good lately. Although they do have the Seraphim, which is a big power boost, I guess. So that's something under his tenure, I guess.
We have to see who controls the Seraphim at this point.
Well, indeed.
Who's in control of them right now?
And Tesla here says, Nate, you would love Sanji versus Queen in the anime. I wonder about that. They probably did improve it.
I think that the episode just came out.
Yeah, I saw some clips going around of that. I saw Queen being defeated in it. Although, I had a criticism for that. I had actually quite a strong criticism, which was Sanji's final blow against Queen. It actually sort of made more sense in the anime, but he kicks Queen, and Queen, like, bounces visibly at least once, and then flies off. And I thought, well, shit, man. Bouncing like that implies a lack of forward momentum to carry you out the wall in that way. So, like, he actually seems like he's going much slower than he was in the anime, which less sells the strength of the blow, as opposed to the anime, or as opposed to the manga, where he goes flying and it's like, well, holy shit, that was like an incredibly powerful blow. But it sold it actually, I thought a lot worse in the anime with that one bounce. But
obviously, I haven't seen it myself. Yeah. But I would say maybe the way that he was characterized, at least a lot more in the anime, perhaps, than the manga.
Oh, yeah, that would be the better part, I think. And
I don't read the manga either, but there's probably something where they very much care. To me, at least, Queen is much more of a comical character. Probably the most comical out of anyone on Kaido's crew.
Well, Queen is by far the best character of Kaido's crew, without question, and the only saving grace.
Different moniker for sure, but I would say in general he has much more of a kind of a humor and like a kind of a comical thing to it. But I mean, I think that I haven't seen the episode myself, but I have seen other people's reviews of it or some other screen caps, and they do more. That's one of those the anime original things where they're adding a lot more of thematic context and like relevance to Sanji's character personally.
I feel
like they have like a shot of him and his boss. I forget
Zeph, his mentor, his savior. Yeah.
You have him and Zeph. There's a scene of them together. It's like, I don't know, just that.
Well, those are nice. Those are nice. So. Yeah. I mean, maybe I would like it. I don't know. I'm probably not going to watch it because I'm not an anime guy. But maybe someday someone will send me a clip, and I did eventually watch the Katakuri fight, at least in parts, and that was quite good. There were some amazingly well done parts in there. So maybe
well, it's just to me, it's like I probably won't enjoy reading it nearly as much as I've watched it.
Well, because you spoiled yourself by watching it first, Well, not that I blame you. I'm just saying it's.
No, yeah, but I'd say that like I'm reading it because I want to continue being immersed in it. I do want to. I don't because I feel like a lot of One Piece. I don't want to make a generalization, but I've talked about this with Jack. That like if you're in this story for long enough. It's just the week to week, and it's just the chapter, or maybe it's the episode, or some combination. One Piece podcast does the episode and the chapter that come out that week. But it's not a whole lot of like revisiting it, or engaging with it in that way. And this is like one of my favorite anime now. And for me, I really don't want to, especially now that I'm week to week, I don't want to get complacent. Personally, I've talked about, and this is my whole ethos. This is like I really want to continue engaging with it and rediscovering it, re-experiencing it. And so if that's in a different medium that I'm not exactly the most preferred to me, I think it's like that's still it's sustaining my passion for it. So I would encourage you that, like, obviously not now or whatever, but I would say somewhere down the line, maybe even when the manga's finished, I would check out the anime at some point. I know it is sort of a different speed.
Honestly, it's just like a time, the biggest factor is the time limiting thing,
For sure.
Yeah.
I get that too.
Plus, manga is a superior medium. Sure. Well, not One Piece anymore. I've got to say, One Piece has taken some blows on the scuff piece, scuff piece routine. But it's not all bad. Don't get me wrong. I'm not exaggerating here. I'm just saying there's some of the strengths of manga have been a little bit less strong recently with One Piece. He's
sure.
Sure.
Yeah. And and it's like anything. Like I told you, with One Piece lasting as long as it has its dips and it has its stronger moments. And I think there was something where Oda was reflecting on Water 7 Enies, where he's like, "Fuck, I don't think I can make something better than that," or something like that. So I could be wrong.
Do you know when he said that? Was that a recent comment?
No, I think it was something where he was talking about, like, I don't let that get to me, where he's like peaking or whatever.
Right.
And that's fair, I think. I don't disagree. I think Water 7 Enies is the best arc.
Understandable.
But I can also understand why he can't necessarily do that arc again. I think, like you mentioned earlier, was like they've had their. That's it. That's their arc, kind of. That's the story.
I mean, characters like Frankie, Chopper,
they can have something similar. Yeah, there could still be some room for sure. Nami, I think, could get more.
Nami could. Brooke, I mean, no doubt. I mean, honestly, there's a case to be made that, like, we kind of didn't need these last couple of crew members. Now, obviously, we love them. There's, like, a lot of good that have come from them. But when you think about it, if Oda doesn't really want to spend time fleshing out, like, a guy like Frankie, did Frankie really need to join the crew? I mean, I think that is a question that you could ask. And
him being there versus, like, what
he made the ship,
Roger.
Yeah, exactly.
Roger, like, Tom was a vital part of that crew, but he didn't join them.
Exactly.
He wasn't with them on One Piece.
Yep.
Yeah. And I mean, you have a similar vibe with Iceberg, because Iceberg helped on that ship.
Yeah, they worked on it together.
Iceberg's one of my favorite characters. But it's a similar vibe where it's like, they still like him a lot, and he's still like, present. He's still whatever, but like he's not like a moving piece here. Like in the case with like Reverie, he's not an active player that like shoot.
The funny thing with Frankie too. The funny thing with it felt like as soon as Water 7 was done, and Enies Lobby by extension, Oda instantly didn't really know what to do with Frankie, because I guess he felt like there's only so much you could do with the cyborg gimmick. He had like done enough of that during Enies Lobby itself, and now like what kind of attacks does Frankie do now? He does like the coup de burst sometimes. I mean, now he's does like lasers and then pilots a mech. I mean, again, I enjoy all that stuff. I just think when one of the issues with One Piece that a lot of us have is that Oda has introduced so many characters, it's really hard to juggle, that it makes sense to try to streamline things so that you can concentrate on the characters that are like the core to the story, which, let's not kid ourselves, are clearly like the East Blue members of the Straw Hat crew. Those are the ones Oda like mostly cares about. And and then Robin's there for like plot reasons. Chopper, forgotten. Frankie, background. Brooke, background. Jinbei, he's the current flavor of the month for Oda, so he gets a little bit of stuff.
I disagree about Jinbei. I think Jinbei was obviously he's far later. He's Impel Down.
Yeah.
Like that's very late. But I think he did justify. But I think that maybe it's because I don't know if the anime necessarily the way they're using flashbacks and stuff.
Yeah.
Really just lays it out for you that like he is meant to be with them.
Boy, that sure wasn't the impression I got. So maybe the anime did do a better job.
That way, it's like it's visceral to me. I don't know. There's just something with like the way he's interacted with them, and they're all so fucking grateful to him for what he was doing, for what he did for Luffy and Marineford, literally saving his life,
he sure
mentally
did.
and physically. That's their homeboy, you know. Like, and I'm sure the thing is, Luffy never told them about Mr. Two. I'm sure if he told them about what happened, they'd probably feel the same way. But like,
yeah,
it's one of those One Piece things where it's like, yeah, these characters don't know about a lot of this other stuff that's going on.
Yep, because none of these characters ever talk about their personal lives whatsoever. It never comes up that, I have not one but two secret brothers, by the way. I guess it's weird I never mentioned that, but...
yeah, no, for sure. I don't know where that was going, but yeah, but I get it with that. But to me, it's like, it doesn't really necessarily affect it because it's the interactions, it's the interplay, and those characters being present, and... you know, I don't know. It's like that joy of us seeing Vivi in that chapter with Morgans and Wapol and everything. You know, there's just something kind of like, it hits different with that. You know, it wasn't a bit. We don't even. She just has one line or something. It's not like a big emotional whatever or character development or something. But it's like, oh my god, it's great to see her.
It is great to see her. Yep. I mean, we feel a connection with her. She was there when you're there for arcs with the characters. I mean, this is actually one of my criticisms. Jinbei's role and his presence in Fishman Island was so far in the background. I mean, sometimes he was at the end when he gave Luffy the blood. Good scene. I appreciate that.
Sure, yeah.
But like the flashbacks were all about Otohime and Fisher Tiger. Jinbei was like not really relevant to those, and
for sure.
These are just some of the issues that
those are their flashbacks. I don't even remember that Jinbei or Arlong are in them. You know, I honestly forget. Sometimes.
And maybe one of the issues with the whole Jinbei stuff in Marineford is that so much is going on. There's so many other things, you know, in the shuffle.
Oh my god, I can't imagine. Yeah. Especially when you're reading it week to week and you just don't know where it's going. You know, how the fuck is this supposed to end?
It's going straight hack.
Whereas for me, I knew it blisteringly well. I was spoiled to pretty much all of it. But you know what I wasn't? You know what I wasn't spoiled to really was Jinbei. I didn't realize how important, vital that he was in that arc, in the things that he did. Knowing also that like he joins the crew. But then, or just other stuff. But it was like, wow, there's a lot of fights that we don't get the resolution to at all. Yep. But I don't know. I guess it's like, I don't know. I was going with that, but yeah.
All right, that's all right. Let's get close to the end of this chapter. We can do it. I believe in us. Are we?
We've been on the last page.
Okay. Thank God, because I'm losing my voice as I always do on these these streams. And when Yeru starts going, I'm like Luffy after using Gear 5. I'm withering away. I'm an old man now. Yeah. Okay, so I've been awakened this whole time. Okay. So blah blah blah. I love Garp, says Vivi. I want to marry Garp. He's my lover. He's my boyfriend. Yay! I wish he was my boyfriend personally, but all right, she's not bad either. Okay, I'm afraid only King Cobra has been permitted an audience with Le 5 elders. Whoa, epic. Okay. Whoa, it's Pell, Iron Man Pell, invincible, indestructible Pell. He's on screen. His presence is dominating.
Dude,
his power.
This made me think, be like, oh my god, is the reason it's a dumb, is the reason that they brought Pell back is so that there's some big scene that happens with Pell in this moment here?
Well, look, whatever the scene that you're cooking up in your head or Oda is with Pell, just don't do that and do it with Chaka instead, who is a character who could definitely do something relevant. The Pell revival it was the first instance.
Did not need to happen. I know.
It did not need to happen.
I would say even less necessary was the fucking father in Skypiea.
Oh, that's another bad one for sure. Yeah,
it's like, dude, you literally didn't need to.
This, I think, is Oda's worst habit. He does have a track record of what I call having his cake and eating it too. He does love the fake out deaths. And one of the one we always bring up is our boy Pound D Pussy, or just Pound from the Lola and Chiffon's father in Whole Cake Island, who totally died, guys, to Oven.
He did die. I actually
Oh, because you haven't read the cover page. Because you haven't read the cover arc where he does in fact just show up alive.
Look at that.
He's just alive.
In my world, in the anime,
in the correct world, he should be dead because his survival makes no goddamn sense.
No,
how did he get away? Even if he didn't specifically die, how did he get away? What's going on here? I don't understand. It's not like they left Whole Cake Island with like the crew in ruins the Big Mom Pirates were like in pretty good shape after that fight.
Yeah,
they wouldn't have just like let him slip away, and he's not even strong. It doesn't make any explanation. It was a good, impressive death. He saved his daughter's life. He let her get away.
I loved. It was
totally great. It was really good.
I love that moment.
This is what makes me actually angry about Oda a little bit. It's that I love the scenes that he writes, and I'm like, wow, heroic sacrifice. But then he's like, nope, they actually let me. It's like, well, what the fuck, dude? Just don't bring them back.
At least he hasn't retconned most of the flashback deaths.
Most of them.
I said most.
Yeah, there might be one coming up pretty soon that a lot of us thought was dead for quite a while, but is actually let's just put it this.
Are you saying that you don't think that's confirmed?
It's clearly confirmed at this point.
It's clearly confirmed. Yeah, it's definitely confirmed.
And on that front, I will say on that subject. Yeah. I think Oda has a track record of having people survive that they have no business surviving, and it honestly it hurts his credibility later on when he tries to kill characters. It makes us doubt that he actually did it, and that's why he shouldn't do it, because he should be more responsible so that we take his word for it more.
Hell, like the moment of not that I've read it actually, but like that particular chapter, but the moment of Big Mom and Kaido being defeated.
Yeah, I don't know.
Are
they dead? I mean, Big Mom, like there's a strong case to be made that she is alive because Zeus is still alive, who is a part of her soul. But then again, maybe there's some weird logic going on that he separated from her in some way. I mean, it's possible. But I mean, I'll tell you, I think they're both alive. I would be surprised if they're dead. And Oda should really clarify if he wants them to be dead somehow. That and that's on him because he has shot his credibility with this stuff, And I don't know.
I think it hurts the credibility in a subtle way that I do agree is damaging.
Mm-hmm.
But at the I am happy that like for the most part it seems it doesn't feel like these deaths have really had that much of a tangible effect. Because think about the characters that he's bringing back here.
Yeah,
L. The dad, like, okay.
But that's what annoys me about it.
It's minor.
He feels that it's under the. I mean, not to insult you, but I think that he's kind of using the logic that you mentioned before of sort of like, look, this character doesn't matter that much. Let's just let them be alive. Just don't worry about it. No, that's like
nonsense. The happy ending type of thing. Like, let them be happy.
But that's not stories work. We recognize and respect heroic sacrifice. Pell took a nuke to the face. All right, it was in his face, and he's just totally fine, and that's not cool, man.
Come on.
There was just no wind resistance that day. He just got pushed.
I said, it's like you worry about like, oh, I hope he doesn't bring back a character that like was a really big deal that they died.
Let me ask you this. Shaves. Is Virgo dead?
Oh God, who's Virgo?
Virgo he was the secondary antagonist of Punk Hazard, who was on that island.
Oh, the bird girl?
Well, that's Monet. Virgo is the guy who, I think he looks like Drake, personally, but he's the guy who always had stuff stuck to the side of his face.
He's the beefcake guy.
Yeah, the meat patty on face guy. Let me, and if Virgo is dead, what killed him? Was it that deadly poison that killed so many people on Punk Hazard? Oh, let me tell you, that was some deadly poison.
Yeah, you're gonna die if you get
You're
that.
definitely gonna be dead if that poison gets you. Let me tell you.
Right.
Like no one died of that poison on the entire island. There was an explosion, and man, let me tell you, explosions in One Piece are super deadly. No one ever survives an explosion in One Piece. I'm just saying, like, there's no Virgo could absolutely show up alive next chapter, and I'd be like, "Yup, that's Oda for you." Now that character is probably dead because it's been a very long time, and Oda doesn't have a reason to bring him back.
The story's fulfilled. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's
well,
sort of like
Pell's
what was
story in
their
the role,
function?
Pell's role was fulfilled, but then he just came back anyway because.
Oh, no, I know, I agree, and so I think what these are is indulgence.
Oh, and
it's
Fizo's point
like
is correct.
Like you said, having his cake and eating it too.
Yeah, indulgence is the key word, and Fizo's point here is exactly correct. Without that sacrifice, Pell wouldn't have been a significant character. It's taken away the one thing that makes him a character worth liking. Now, I would give it. There's a slight caveat. I think Pell did have a fairly cool moment of saying of mentioning the five and no more legendary flying devil fruits. There are only 5 that let you fly. There are no more than that number. It's only exactly 5. Pell mentioned that, and I will always respect Pell for bringing up that very true and canonical fact into the story of One Piece.
Yeah.
Right. Only 5.
Very cool. Only 5.
That's such an early One Piece line that we're just not going to worry about as time has gone on. But that's fine. I'm not worried about it.
They're not flying.
They're not flying. They're falling with style. Clearly. You probably don't know this. We have made a spreadsheet enumerating all the different types of quote unquote flying devil fruits, and there are tiers. There are the ones that they are actively flying on their own power. Take Shiki, for example. He just has like the flying, levitating devil fruit. That man is flying. There are the birds, okay? They fly on their own power. They're up there. Then there's the next tier down of the like gliding type characters that use a power, sort of, it's like a secondary effect that lets them fly. For example, we saw Rokugyu with like the flower sticking out of his back that he was flying with. That's like a gliding type situation. And then there's some other ones that are like questionable, like is Buggy flying? Well, that's probably a no, but like kind of a little bit. So, but let me tell you, even that first tier of ones that fly in their own power, that has far more than 5 entries in that list. So,
for sure.
Hackta, it's not looking
long
good.
Story, he didn't expect when he said that line in Alabasta.
He didn't, Wait,
are
you saying that Oda didn't plan everything since chapter 1? I'm not following. This doesn't make any sense to me. Okay, all right. Let's read the last page.
I am a walking man of contradictions.
So Cobra says, "This won't take long. I'm going to meet with the Gorosei. You wait outside. It'd be better if you looked out for Vivi. She's a mischievous... Okay, don't let her out of your sight. Okay, so you guys go, my bodyguards, you go watch Vivi. I'm going to go alone in to meet with the Gorosei. It'll be epic. Trust me." Hey, by the way, you know a character that might not be dead? Cobra. Why would I believe that he's dead? By what logic do I assume that it is in fact true that Cobra's dead? Well, actually, this is funny. The way that you know that Oda is actually going to kill a character is that he gives them, like, a disease that is about to kill them in, like, 1 day anyway. And then he feels allowed to kill them.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, funny. Chopper's backstory, Hiruma, or Hiruluk, although that's a flashback. He will kill characters in flashbacks. But Pedro is the big one of that. And Cobra now, he probably is dead for real. Cobra has terminal ligma. Very true.
I'm wondering, because, like, I wonder if there's a connection to this meeting with Cobra specifically. Yeah. And Emu looking at
the Vivi picture. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, Vivi's obviously going to be the legendary weapon Uranus. That's what she's going to be, and she's going to awaken her secret powers, just like Shirahoshi.
Right. Because, I mean, I don't know. I think I imagine Vivi has something to do with it. I don't think she herself is going to be the weapon, but like. Yeah,
and I'm not really sure what her significance is to this point. She's.
I think there is something to it though, because it's not. It's like, okay, what is this meeting for? I don't think it's for like working with Straw Hat, because otherwise why isn't the Dressrosa King here? Why is it just Cobra?
There clearly is some deeper lore going on with Alabasta, and
I think so, yeah.
I mean, if we hadn't had the end of Wano, confirm, and I do find it to be a retcon. If you look at all the facts, I do think that Pluton was originally planned to be in Alabasta, and I think Oda kind of changed his plans. He's like, okay, well, let's actually put it in Wano. If you look at all the way the story went, I find that to be the most plausible read. So if it wasn't for that, I would have assumed that this was about Pluton in some way, but that clearly isn't the case, because Pluton is just in Wano, and maybe the Gorosei don't know that. Maybe they actually want information about Pluton, and they know that these guys might have that information. I don't know. Oh, but Fizo was saying, guys, Cobra asked to meet. We heard this in 908. Okay, good memory. I didn't recall that exactly.
Oh, Cobra. Wait. Oh, okay.
So Cobra asked for the meeting, apparently.
So Cobra's the one wanting to meet with Gorosei specifically.
It seems to be the case. Yes,
It's not Gorosei asking for. That's a good clarification. I appreciate that.
In which case,
that does sound right.
I mean, he probably has like similar things of important world-shaking stuff to discuss. Maybe it is about like Pluton or some other revolutionary activity or something. I can't even speculate. It's going to be a big deal. I'm sure we'll probably learn more of that next chapter. Or soon. Maybe we'll cut away, but it seems like we're doing more of this before we cut away again.
I think so too. It feels that way, yeah.
And
especially for how many chapters he's been doing consecutively away from Egghead.
Yep.
And I bet the reason he's doing this in this manner, and I'm going to tell you what happened now. Maybe because that is what you need that context going into what's about to happen at Egghead.
Probably. Yeah, I do feel that these events, they are building to probably like this big event that happens in Egghead. And all these like world movement things, like even if the things don't turn out to be like specifically right now relevant, like we're getting there. We're in the final leg of the journey final. Of all this stuff.
Especially with like the way you had Law and Kid get jobbed by Shanks and Blackbeard.
Yes, that.
And, what did you think of it?
Well, so I find it on one hand, I found it a little bit hasty, and I was like, oh wow, they that was a little bit unceremoniously like just handled, and like they're out of the story now. If I was writing it, I would have like spaced that out a little bit more and kind of I don't know. It feels very sudden for these guys. Like they were big power players, now they're obliterated and gone, and they might not be like literally out of the story or whatever. But I mean that was my initial impression. But
yeah,
I thought that the way that
to me like Oda's plan really was this quad of Luffy, Buggy, Blackbeard, and Shanks.
Yeah,
because they have this like connection with each other, and obviously there's the foreshadowing, Oda played with
the cover of the volume cover.
Yeah, sure, but like it does feel like this is the slot. This just feels right.
Well,
I think.
I'll actually push back on that because I don't actually think that like I think that the Cross Guild, for example, they're going to be one of these like Revolutionary Army level, like they're on the look. Buggy's not gonna. Buggy might like trip ass first into like being Pirate King. Like it's not like impossible or something, but like Buggy doesn't have the goods himself. He might, he might do something. But...
I shared this theory on Piss Pirates, like the second episode or something.
Sure.
When this reveal happened, it's kind of a crackpot. It's kind of fun, but I like it. It's a pet theory.
Okay.
I think when you get to the like, Lodestar, all of them have the four of them, and they meet at the second to last island.
Yeah.
And this determines who goes to Laugh Tale. It's just a fight. And I don't remember exactly my logic of like why they would team up, but I had this thing where it becomes a 2-on-2.
Okay.
And because like I think my logic was that like it would be way too chaotic if all four were fighting each other like all at the same time.
I suppose.
So if you did like a 2v2, what would be the most interesting or like kind of the Oda thing to do of making a 2v2?
I mean, I just don't think that's going to happen personally.
No, I know, of course not. But like, I think it's like, I don't know.
Well, are you including Buggy in this fight? Because
I am. No, I'm. What I'm saying is like, and this sounds like stupid, right? Like on its face, but like, I think it would be really funny, like really fucking funny, if for whatever reason we don't know why, Blackbeard and Shanks are teaming up with each other, and that leaves Luffy and Buggy to have to team up with each other. This creates an interesting dynamic or a problem, a kind of an actual conflict of interest with Zoro, because he would be on the same side as Mihawk. And so there might be the one instance where Zoro's like, I've been loyal with you this entire time, but he told him at the beginning, if you ever get in my way, of what I want,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to hesitate and do what I want. And this is the one moment of like, okay, I need to kind of jeopardize what's going on here and make our side kind of, because like if they're on this, you have
Can I make a point about that real quick?
In this like pirate war or whatever. Yeah.
It's just it would be so funny if let's say that does happen, if Zoro gets all butthurt about like having to fight alongside Mihawk, despite having trained under the man for 2 years.
Yeah.
And it'd be
Well,
like, well, why are you mad now,
where, like,
Zoro?
you
Maybe
trained
you
under
should
the
have been
guy,
mad
but
at
he wants to
yourself.
beat him.
Yeah. But they could just fight afterward, like they can get One Piece and then like fight after, and it would be totally fine. For him.
But the thing, that's obviously, I think, I'm sure you want to see Zoro fight Mihawk.
Without it absolutely must happen.
It has to happen. So it's sort of like,
if it doesn't happen,
I have to fight this guy. That's going to fuck shit up for us, but I need to do this, and it'll be an interesting point of interest of how Luffy takes that, or I don't know. It's kind of a thing that gets in the way of their relationship. I think would be interesting. That would be like pretty much the only reason I would want it, but also that like, I don't know, you can't possibly see Luffy and Blackbeard teaming up with each other, and as much as it makes sense with like Luffy and Shanks being like, liking each
best
other,
buds
at least as
and
of chapter
stuff.
1, but they've never seen each other since then.
Yeah,
I think it. Luffy has to beat Shanks to be the Pirate King. They have to be adversarial.
I think that's gonna happen in some form or another.
Yeah, and so it's sort of like, how do you balance that with like Blackbeard being this like antithesis to Luffy, like kind of the ultimate antagonist, but then also Shanks, and how do you do both?
That's a good question.
And then what are you gonna do? What if fucking Luffy's gonna beat Buggy again?
No, that won't happen. Yeah, it'll be something. See that this is why. Look, I was a doubter of Cross Guild at first. They've impressed me. I like what they've done with them, but their organization seems tailor-made to be the kind of does things off-screen, not directly relevant type organization. Yeah. And
I know what you mean. Yeah. Well, they don't have enough members. Like if they had more players, right? If they had Boa, if they had I don't know,
which could be what they do. But the thing is, look, no matter what, not to insult them, but like. Sure, they're A-list, but like B-list players they get. None of that will make this group like as important as like Shanks or Luffy or Blackbeard.
100%.
They're gonna. I suspect this group will always be sort of the logistical.
And that's why.
group.
And that's why I think they're kind of the best position to being this fourth Yonko, because they might, like you said, he falls ass backward into getting something. What if, for whatever fucking reason, Buggy has the last poneglyph, and each of them have 3.
It is possible.
The one that he's missing, you know what I mean?
Is he the man marked by flames?
He's going to give them something that's like, okay, they matter,
I don't know.
I think crackpot theories. I think that's. I don't know.
I'm not going to say it's impossible. Oda has already surprised me with what he's done with Buggy, and it took me a little bit, but he did win me over, and I have been impressed by it. So I don't know. I would like to see more, as long as there's funny, cool things happening. Whatever he does, I'll be fine with.
Interesting scenarios. That's what I mean. That's what I'm into.
Same,
for sure.
So okay. So now that we have reached the end of the chapter, let me just quickly mention those bets that came up before. Let me go to the chat over here about where is it? It's in the active threads here of the bets, because somebody won. I want to get the name correctly. Bet thread. Here we go. Okay, it was Swagger Drill Break. Was that you? Okay, it was. Let me just scroll up. Okay, the bet was, there was a bet as of last chapter, which was a week ago, right? Yeah. And it was, who the heck was it? It was not Seb. It was before Seb's post here. Dang it. Giga D Break. Yes, okay. Swag Drill Break. Giga D Break bet maximum honor as of May 1st. So that was, that was like 2 weeks ago. That the next chapter will be about SABO'S flashback You have won this bet, Giga Deal Break. You have earned maximum honor. Congratulations. And I do feel that most of that comes from Vale. Okay, Vale's bet, which has not been totally lost yet, okay, was I bet honor that we will learn about what Sabo was saying about the Reverie in Chapter 110. The implication being that, like, we are not going to dive into Sabo backstory. Now, Vale hasn't totally lost yet, because Vale went on to clarify that, like, the things that we need to actually learn in order for this to count, because this chapter did not count, because we didn't learn jack shit this week about exactly what's going on with, like, the secrets. Even though the name of the chapter was what? Like, the secrets.
Yeah.
The truth about that day, which we did not yet learn. I guess we learned that Sabo didn't do it. Wow, amazing. Who could have expected Sabo to have not murdered a man?
Oh, I didn't mention this. I actually think it would be such a fun, it would be just interesting if he actually did. I think all signs are pointing that he obviously didn't.
Yeah.
But, like, it would be really, it's like, wait, you did,
it would have been interesting. It would have been.
It would just make him, like, a really, like, actually morally gray character.
Yep. It wouldn't have fit his character. He's too much of a nice guy, you know? Like, the darkest things, darkest place he goes is that maybe I'll use this death for good. Maybe I'll try to get past it, you know?
I can almost see it, though. Because, like, to me, like, Sabo is, like, kind of weird in Dressrosa. I was, like, kind of surprised at how aggressive he was against Jesus Burgess, for example.
Yeah.
I don't know, just the way he acts is a little more hard-edged than Luffy or Ace. And so I don't put it out of the question. And that would make it a really interesting conflict with his relationship to Luffy, because it's like, oh yeah, I killed Cobra.
So you're saying, so it hasn't technically been well, no. It was officially clarified this chapter. Sabo, like, he has said, I did not do it. And, like, it's a misunderstanding. I feel bad that he was killed. I didn't do it, but we'll use it for good. I feel that is sufficient clarification.
Wait, where did he say he didn't do it?
Well, I just feel that the whole scene is pretty clearly reads that he...
Yeah, but, like, I don't think he said it one way or the other. All he said was just like, look, I feel bad what happened to him, but I can live with it.
I mean...
But that's all he said about it. He didn't confirm or deny. And then he's still not, like...
Well, okay. I mean, Fizo is right. But before this chapter, previously, during the call, Sabo does say to them that he didn't do that. So it was clarified out of Sabo's mouth. And then further on, the read here, I do think, feeds into... He is sad that he was dead. He'll just try to make the best of it, you know.
That's fair.
So okay, so that's and by the way, let me just mention on the final bet notice for tonight that Seb, our favorite boy, Sebas El Sabroso, wins exactly 0 honor points because he did not put in his official prediction early enough before the leaks started to come out about the chapter. So you get nothing, Seb. You get nothing. Next time. You lose. Next time. Make sure you comment it ahead of time, and you might get something. And Seb had predicted, I'll just read it for the record. He had said that he bet in favor of the reveal being next week, which, like, I mean, it's getting to the reveal. I would have given this to him because it's clearly getting there. Unless they cut away again. Actually, I would put this on a tentative, not yet confirmed, because we have to actually see the reveal. They're like getting there. I mean, it literally didn't happen this week, I guess. But that's not. It's not like that we cut away, you know, which would have been the point. Right. We stayed with it. We just didn't get there yet. Okay. Anyway.
End of volume.
That's end of volume stuff. Probably gonna be next chapter. Hopefully. I bet there's gonna be a big Im-sama reveal. You know, in the Talkin' Pirate server, we have the lovely silhouette post of Im-sama, which I love, and I like to loom over people spookily. The thing that I fear is that next chapter, or eventually, one day, this fear will come true, we actually see what Im looks like, and it no longer is cool to use this looming, ominous, weird shape of Im, just like standing awkwardly, looking down at people. It's going to be like, well, why don't you just use the actual sexy figure of Luffy's mom, for example, who it's going to definitely be, or anything like that. So, my fears will come true one way or another. Okay. That being the case, we are done discussing the chapter. It is time for our blitzkrieg through the end. Let me pull up the sound effects as we do this. Okay, so I'm gonna run back through the chapter We're going to do a quick summarize, and then we are going to decide once and for all if it is Hacta or if it is Goda for the chapter. Okay. So now, ladies and gentlemen, you can begin spamming Goda or Hacta in the chat as a futile effort to sway the vote in the end. Okay, so here we go. But before we vote, let's take a look at the vote and see where it stands right now, which is over here. Oh, hang on, it's doing this annoying thing. Okay, there we go. And so the bet is we are at 33% Goda, Jew Cubed 0 with almost 30,000 bits, number 1, and Hacta 67%. Most people are voting Hacta this time. Speedy Junk with 38,000 Buckaroo bits. Okay, we shall see. The Hacta people are coming in. The Hacta is coming in strong. Okay, let's.
What can I tell you, man? The Revolutionary Army is a losing bet.
They are a little bit cringe, it must be said. Okay, let's play the music. Here we go. And we begin. So, chapter, summarize. Here we go. Cover page, scuff piece, cringe. Not very nice. Okay, not looking good. Galarian Moltres, everyone's already got one. Cringe. Okay, Hacta. Kamabaka Kingdom, cringe. Sabo, okay, that's double cringe. Tenryubito, well, they're pretty cool, but blowing up their stuff, cringe. Very hack. Revolutionary Army, okay. It's just Dragon. He's looking like shit out here. Okay, Ivankov is pretty based. Love Ivankov, but still in the Revolutionary Army, that's cringe. Okay. They're doing nothing. They're achieving nothing. They've done nothing. Some God's Knights. Those guys are kind of okay, a little bit. They're a little bit of Hacta. I mean, a little bit of Goda, rather. Sabo doesn't like the hot. It's not official canon that he used the word hot. That's very cringe. Dragon drinking wine. Alcohol is bad for you. That's Hacta. Okay. Kamabaka, okay, again, more Hacta. Sabo, he endorsing murder of a king. That's pretty cringe. Okay, not impressed. Actually killing a man. Unimpressed. Very unimpressed. Reading newspapers. Reading is cringe. That's strong Hacta right there. Ooh, it's just not looking good, my Goda bros. Flashbacks are cringe. Okay, no, that's not true. I was lying. They're actually Goda. But this one's cringe because it's got the Revolutionary Army in it. The Tenryubito, though, I like them. Now that's Goda. Those guys are funny. Pirate slaves? Classic Goda. Classic Goda. Oh, the balance is crystal clear, Fizo. We try to be even-handed here, always. Now, you know, honestly, Karasu, Soot Devil Fruit, not bad. I like it. That's pretty Goda, all right. Soot Devil Fruit. Now, why couldn't Katakuri have just been... Oh, it's making me think about Katakuri being a special power Misio. That's also Hacta. Very unimpressive. Okay. Cypher Pole Agents, cringe. Cool attack looking. Okay, not bad. I like that. Lasers, cringe. Lindbergh, cringe. Bello Betty. Okay, the fact that the Revolutionary Army here reminds me that Bello Betty exists. The worst designed character in the series. That's cringe. Do not like it. But this guy's alright. Okay, Sexy Slave Girl. Both Goda and cringe. Okay, because the slave escaped. Oh no, that was my favorite slave. How could you do this to me, Goda? I mean, Hacta. Morley is kind of okay, but mostly cringe, especially because he is fighting Rokugyu, who should be killing him instantly and giving him the suck. But he's just not doing it because Hacta clearly wrote this chapter, okay? Fujitora is letting them win. Very embarrassing. Okay, fraud admirals are not looking too good this chapter. Oh god, the CP9 guys. Or should I say the CP0 guys who were promoted for massive incompetence. Nicely done, lads. Okay, Sabo, Slave, Kuma, that's pretty cool. Okay, Bonnie, Shirahoshi, she's cute. Vivi, forehead's too small, that's pretty Hacta. Could have been a lot bigger. And Cobra is in fact alive, but he's about to die. But Pell is here. You know, that's a little Goda, honestly. Pell's pretty base. He's the invincible Iron Man Pell. Will never die. But we all know where this is going. Okay, this is just not looking good. Everyone's going to be dead soon. So where is the final vote decide? Is it Goda or is it Hacta? Oh, you know, the chapter did mention the Tenryubito and slavery, which are both really cool. Nah, it's Hacta. Okay, obviously that's Hacta. What do you want from me? It had Sabo in it. It's as simple as that, folks. You show me Sabo, you get a Hacta chapter, all right? Chapter 1. This was planned. Oda planned to make this chapter Hacta all along.
Thank you, Baxter.
There it is. Owarida, truly. Honto ni owarida. Yes, okay. People knew it. I know, Reddit Sephiroth feels nothing for the victory. But it is a victory nonetheless, so let's enjoy it, Hackta Bros. Goda had a good streak there, but that streak is over. The good guys have won once again. So sorry for your family, ugly-headed bozo. They shall not feed on this day. All right, well, that's it, everybody. Thanks for stopping by. It's been a pleasure. Eat well, Hackta Bros. You earned this victory, truly. The people knew it was coming. Glad you had a good time. And again, rest in peace to, who was it who lost big there? J-Cube0, you fought a good fight, but it just wasn't to be. And Speedy Junk 11, nicely done. Nicely done. Oh, good question. Is there a chapter next week? Let me just, One Piece chapter schedule 2023. How do you feel about it, Shabes, about Hackta sweeping this week? Are you disappointed?
I'm not surprised. When you told me the concept of, like, look, so on the stream, we're going to vote for whether the chapter's Goda or Hackta. I'm like, it's Hackta this week. It is no.
Look,
Jesus
they
Christ.
didn't even get to the actual backstory, all right? Oh,
No,
it's for the volume release. Who cares? I'm not reading the volume. I'm reading the goddamn weekly chapter. Like, almost nothing happened. There were some slight clarifications. Admirals continue to be jobbers. What more do you want? Classic Hackta. Classic Hackta. As for next chapter, let me just see here. That was 1083. There appears to, in fact, be a chapter next week with 1040. So, as long as that's the case, we will be here next, people. We'll be here next week. We will be talking pirates, yettering as we do. Thanks for stopping by. And again, thank you so much to Shabes for coming on here and talking with me about pirates. It was a delight to have you.
Oh, delightful time. I love learning the shit about this fucking series. I love it to
Love
bits.
clowning on One Piece. Love mocking Hackta's latest mockery of artistic quote-unquote integrity. Air quotes are going on here in a big way. Yes, it was good. Let's talk again.
Not real.
Let's do more stuff like this. It's been too long since we last talked.
I think so. I also just had generally, you know, like I think I told you offline. You know, all of us are an island.
I try to make efforts to bridge that once in a while, but not enough.
So it's important to keep it. We're not competitors. We're peers.
That's true. That's true. Nobody's.
So at least I would like to think that, and not YouTube.
I don't even think that's cope. I mean,
want you to be a competitor, but
especially if you're in like the anime discussion space. I mean, there's the lifestyle people who do that now, like your anime man and your I don't know. I mean, Gig a little bit, or like Mother's Basement, and that's fine. I don't dislike anything those guys do. Not all of it's for me, but then there's the rest of us peons scrounging around to make our little think pieces about whatever it is coming out now. And I am working on a piece right now that is something of a think piece about an actual anime. It's not a video game. It's not It's not anything else. It's an anime, and it's gonna be good. It's gonna be a good video.
That's great. I got something cooking too. I'm trying to been doing one video on my main channel a month, because last year was just really creatively disappointing.
Yeah.
I only put out 2 videos in like February and November.
Big gap. I can relate.
Yeah, right. So so I just trying to. I just had like a mantra of like more than 2. I just want to.
More than 2 is good. Have you been achieving that so far?
Yeah, I got one. I did one in. I think my Obito came out in February, and then the Naruto versus Sasuke, which you can only watch in the U.S. and Canada. I'm sorry, because it has Linkin Park. Blah blah blah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know it. So that was in March, and then I had Onimai in April. But I'm working on one right now in May, which is an anime that's so obscure it's basically YouTube poison, so I can't put it in the title or thumbnail.
Are you familiar with Kenny Lauderdale? You must be, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, we're mutuals. Yeah.
You guys, that's good. That's good. You guys, you remind me of each other a little bit with your love of niche content. And Kenny is a great guy. Big fan of him. His content's great. Real sweet guy.
hard worker too. Is
No
like
doubt.
really gaming the thumbnail game and YouTube stuff. And,
Yeah.
You know, he's doing a lot of like restoration things.
Well, it's such an interesting niche that he's I mean, it's not even that he like calculated that would be a profitable niche. He just loves that stuff, and he has made his passion into his work, and it's delightful to see. And his passion for capturing and reviving and saving and preserving like lost or potentially lost media to convert like VHS tapes that are degrading over time into something digital that can be preserved.
Yeah.
It's impressive. Anyway, enough about Kenny. Love you, buddy. Let's talk sometime soon. But this is Shabes right now. We're talking about.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. This was like a wonderful time.
I'm glad you thought so. I had a great time too, and hopefully everybody liked you. And you should, in fact, go consume Shabes' content on his. You've got like 2 channels, Shabes and then Caribou Coon, right?
Yeah. So I have Shabes where I've been live streaming, and then doing a YouTube Digest regularly, and then my main channel is like video essays, like AMVs and stuff like that, and essays. But
and of course, there's Pissed Pirates as well.
As well. We post very, 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 very regularly at this point, but that's okay. We didn't want it to be. We wanted to kind of have it be different than like, you know,
the weekly podcast, whatever it is. You know,
going chapter by chapter, or whatever. We wanted it in a way that's just like, I don't know, talking more the conversations we were having that are aside from this chapter was like the good shit to me, and I hope people enjoyed it.
I gotcha.
I know it was wrong, but yeah.
And I mean, there really are different ways. It's a very different animal to do the weekly consumption versus a, like, for example, just an ARC review. Those are totally different things, and you know, different experience, different. All kinds of stuff you can look back and consume. So yeah, go check out everything Shabes does. I'm a fan, and Shabes likes my videos. He said my recent one was real good, so he's got good taste. So
I like your shit. I like your shit.
So there you go. All right, everybody, it's been lovely talking pirates with you this evening. Let's do it again next week. See you soon, everybody.